Kind of cool.
Oh my God, there she is.
Maybe we should.
There she is.
We'll talk.
There she does be.
And there she does be. Oh. That looks good.
Believe it or not, it's not comfortable.
It's a child's hat.
All right.
It's got like sandpaper sewn in on the inside.
It's like all Halloween costumes. It's like, let's make this out of the hottest material possible that will somehow also disintegrate in sweat. All right.
And something that holds mothball smell real well.
Yes, it's going to stink. Yeah, definitely.
But that always smells slightly chemical.
3, 2, 1. Go Nintendo Podcast. Episode 916. The Oinkologne or Oinkologne or Oinkologne.
Oinkologne 916. I don't know why my Stone Cold sounded kind of Australian there for a second.
I was gonna say what you doing? Podcast. I don't know. You read that. You tell me how you think you say that.
Oinkologne, like cologne.
I went with Oinkologne first.
Very nice.
Yeah. Oinkologne. Let's say that.
Oinkologne. Oh,
Oinkologne.
I like that. It
like
could be
Malone,
said- yeah.
but not.
Always like Malone.
Oinkologne is proud of its fine.
Isn't that what Jewish people say when they're like upset about something?
Oinkologne.
No,
Get it? It's
absolutely
gonna
not.
be a good show, everybody.
Okay, I'm sorry to the Jews who are watching.
Why sorry?
Okay, so Oinkologne is proud of its fine glossy skin.
Mm-hmm.
It emits a concentrated scent. Way to use context clues there, friends. From its tip of its
Who are you
tail.
talking to?
I'm
The
just
people
saying,
that
if you-
write Pokemon?
No, if you
The
had
f-
looked
The
ahead,
friends
you would have gotten context, and then it would have helped you.
scent cologne.
Oh, I don't know if that. I mean, all
she's
versions.
right.
This is an evolution of a Pokemon that's all pig related, so they're all scent.
He wins again, ladies and gentlemen. He won again.
Wait, why are pigs and scent a
They
thing?
hunt for truffles. Come on,
No.
Yeah, but like
Pig 101.
it's not like a hound.
Pig 101? Didn't you take Pig 101?
So they,
I'm sorry. Be teachable.
how about that?
I already got it. Thank you.
Oh,
Yeah.
boy, that's disappointing.
Okay, so it's too close. I'm getting old. That made me dizzy. Woo!
Audio listeners got no idea what you're talking about.
I held the screen too close to my face because I was trying to get close to the
Watch
microphone.
out, those phones are dangerous.
But then
At 25% brightness.
no, it wasn't the brightness. It was the text got jumbled. I will have a migraine by the end of the show. I'm pretty sure
Excellent.
that was my body telling me we're on our way.
How'd you get a migraine? Oh, I looked at a
No.
phone.
It's just you. Anyway, it's not relevant.
Can you not be a jerk to
I
her
have
just
all
for
the
like
things.
5 minutes, maybe?
Oh my God. It's like you don't even know us. We've been together forever. This is love talk.
When he's being nice to her, that's when you got to worry.
Not zigzaggy?
Oh, I'm looking at something? No,
This is-
you're just looking at me weird.
This is love
Okay.
talk.
3 feet tall, 264.6 pounds. They're males, so of course the category is.
Man, 3
Pig.
feet tall and
No.
that heavy.
Think about yesterday's conversation.
Ham,
They're
In the car.
males, so it's category. Think about the car.
swine.
Ham fist.
Animal names for a restaurant.
Hog.
Category is hog.
Ooh, hog wild.
MomBrain and I had a lovely. Well, I'll let you finish.
Anyway, gluttony is one of the abilities. If the Pokemon is holding a berry to be eaten, by the way, berry BERRY is capitalized every time it's written.
It's a thing.
Wait,
Yeah.
gluttony's
in
an
Pokemon
ability?
world.
The Catholic Church has been lying to me and you, Nikki.
Yeah. So I was trying to think of something.
We've just had great ability this whole time. We haven't been
right.
sinners.
If the Pokemon is holding a berry to be eaten when its HP is low, it will instead eat the berry when its HP drops to half or less. I think we might have read about that once before.
Berry is, or that is a ability not specific to that Pokemon. A lot of Pokemon can have that ability.
Another one is lingering aroma, which reminds me, I'd like to go to Taco Bell later.
Oh,
it's
I
right
went-
by the movie theater.
I went for breakfast.
Mm.
Yeah. California breakfast crunch wrap.
Good night.
So I sent that to you and I sent it to Deux, and Deux's response was, "Thank God." And I said, queso dio.
It was really funny, and it took me way too long to figure out what.
Okay,
Because
so
I was like, I'm pretty sure it's feminine, Mike, and then I was like, oh, I get it. Like that's why it's funny. But yeah, that was great.
Who's Mike?
That's true.
Oh no,
Our other friend.
So in Lingering Aroma,
Mike of the morning to you.
contact with the Pokemon changes the attacker's ability to Lingering Aroma. Just reading what's written. And that's the end of the Pokemon section, folks.
Thanks, MomBrain.
My
By the
pleasure.
way, it's now it's 3:22, but it was 3:21, and I thought maybe we should start the podcast at 3:21. So when you say 3, 2, 1, it makes more sense.
Oh, maybe next time. I was gonna say, MomBrain and I had a lovely conversation in the car yesterday where I was like, Hooters exists for boobs. That's what the restaurant is about. And I said, what would restaurant names be if like it was related to a woman's vagina? And we could
There's
we
one-
said clams.
There's a restaurant called Cooters.
See, but a cooter isn't an animal. Is a cooter a nickname
Isn't it
for an
that?
animal?
I don't know.
Oh,
Because we said
I
beavers
see.
or clams.
Okay.
But I have
Alright.
I've been to the Beaver Bar in Myrtle Beach.
Card carrying member.
That Beaver Bar I've never been to, but
Beaver
but
Bar.
the actual Beaver Bar
Beaver Bar.
I have been to.
Shrimp.
No, I
And
guess I've
white
technically
wine.
not been to the Beaver Bar. But I do have a great picture of my grandmother holding the menu up in front of her face so that it was partially obscured because she was embarrassed that I took her to the Beaver Bar. It's a great picture. It's actually one of my favorite pictures
That's
of her.
awesome.
And we said for guys, I said it would be hogs for guys. But
And I said with a Z.
it's got to have a Z, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Hi, oh boy, Oreo Lemon. It's Oreo Lemon. That's a great name. Hi, Oreo Lemon and Backseat Studios. Backseat Studios says, how about camel toes? Camel is an animal last time I checked. Highland Tom says, cooter is a type of turtle. So there you go.
There we have it.
Nightwind, hello. Nightwind, every time I see it, I love that avatar. Steel Diver, good to see you. River Cooter Turtle. There
Actually,
it is. Hi,
I think,
Darmani.
I think Cooters may have a turtle on the sign. I'm not
Radical Defect, good to see you. Ninja Bunny, oh my God, look at that cute puppy. Yumi says hi. Look at that. What is it holding? Stranger Things toy. I see it. Man, that is cute. Hi, Bootleg Pokemon. What is going on today? We got a bunch of randos. I appreciate it though. Thrillmo and the Super Sanchez, of course. Alternate Liz, good to see you. Blood Ocean, Steve Irwin, Roth, William, Ratsuza, Axel Sleep. Oh boy, wait a minute. Blood Ocean is here, but he's using the Solid Master Link GIF. He's trying to throw me off on purpose.
Oh, look at him.
Unless I'm wrong. Hi, Malik Halo and Ice Dilbert and Drake and all the regulars. Thank you so much for joining us. Hi, Granimus. Granimus says, I have dog training classes at 3 p.m. for the next 2 months, and they don't like to listen to the GoNintendo podcast while learning how to focus or touch or etc. So I need to bid a short adieu to you fine Discord chat folks. Please know that I will be back, and I will try to submit music and questions for all to enjoy. And then he sent a picture of the dog, and it's beautiful. Look at that dog.
It's a good
Look at
looking.
that dog,
It's a good
sweetie.
looking dog.
It's a beautiful dog. We understand training dogs is much more important than us because we cannot be trained. Hello, Vachi. Good to see you.
That's not true.
I
I
cannot
train
be
humans
trained.
for a living.
Yeah, and you rehabilitate dogs.
MomBrain rehabilitates dogs and trains people.
It's true.
Like Cesar Malone.
Is that guy still around? Is he still doing that thing?
Sit. I'm just trying to make the podcast more friendly to dog training. Stay.
That doesn't sound friendly. How about like treat or something? That's friendly.
Go puppy.
Oh, that's friendly. Okay. I don't know what's going to happen with the show today.
Sit.
I don't know how much I don't know how long the show is going to be because I don't.
Speak.
There wasn't a lot of time.
Are you talking
a lot
about
of top
for the dogs or for
stories.
him?
I'm
Because
talking
he
for
just-
him, yeah.
he is fumbling all over.
There's not a lot of top stories this week, and I don't have too much to cover beforehand. But before we get all that, MomBrain is here.
I have raw meat trained. Are you guys ready?
Ooh, this will be good.
Pepe.
MomBrain, how are you?
I'm sorry, Romate. The people listening don't know what you just did.
Well, they'll have to tune in to see. So sorry.
Whoa.
I've moved my hands in a random direction. That's what I do when
Yeah.
Pepe's discussed. Hi, Nicky.
Let
Hill.
me
Nicky
show you
Hill's
something.
here.
What I do.
Hi.
Do Michaels is here.
Ooh.
Of course, Josh Grobot is here, my old college roommate, best friend from those days and today. How are you, my friend?
I really did.
You really did go to college with me. It's true.
Thanks very cool.
How was your week? What are you up to?
That's none of your business.
As always, yep.
Moving on.
And we'll move on to none other than George. George, how are you, my friend?
Bon George, no.
What were you up to this week?
Just squeezing some lime.
Freezing and squeezing.
I won't ask any more because it could get a little personal. But it sounds, it's your one of your favorite things to do. So you have at it.
The podcast
Hey.
art last week was great with Josh and George.
Josh and George sharing
hanging and banging,
catchphrases
squeezing and breezing.
in Akira Toriyama style. Crazy Colonel always kills it, but yes, that one was a little something special because he had to adapt his style into Akira Toriyama's style to pay tribute, and he did a lovely job. I really like that.
Exactly, Red Souza. I'm getting ready for a big celebration. The Green Day tomorrow.
Oh, that's right.
Oh,
Big
yeah.
Lime Day tomorrow.
Not a
Yeah.
big drinker, but I love the green.
Lime juice, George?
I just love carrying lime.
That's I don't juice them, I carry them. Well, I hope you have a lovely day. Not too much lime green on St. Patrick's Day, but
It is
close enough.
on your helmet.
I almost ordered key lime pie last night for dessert, and then I didn't. I got a brownie sundae instead, but I do like key lime pie. I had my first key lime pie not long ago, and it was delicious, so I would like to have it again. But you can't get it too many places. It's not like a staple on a lot of dessert menus. I feel like
It's also seasonal.
don't start that crap. Well, what's that place? It's like a theme park. It's really big. It's dark. Cheesecake Factory. They probably got some key lime pie there, right? You're looking at me
Probably
weird
have
for.
key lime cheesecake.
Not a fan of cheesecake.
What's the cheesecake that they got? Oh, lemon meringue cheesecake at Costco. I do want to try it, but
Costco cheesecake is so good.
But
We
I
were
also,
looking
I
at it
also,
yesterday.
I also don't want a cheesecake that serves 45.
Well,
Yeah.
it doesn't if you are committed.
If you're committed, it's your.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had that peanut butter pie that we looked at that was like
Listen.
literally 4 pounds. And I was like, we would be eating this the whole month. I
I-
want to try it, but it's humongous.
I've been working on a cake making show and been eating a lot of cake. I just wanted one slice, and they gave me like a whole cake.
It's a great insult to them. You gotta eat more. Does anybody make something where you're like, oh, and you gotta like choke it down because it's so bad?
Well, no, I'm not. I don't have to choke anything down because it doesn't matter for me.
No, I mean, like, does anybody want cake? And you're like, yeah, I'll take
No,
a
no,
slice and then
no.
eat. And you're like, oh my God, what happened here?
No, but like, I won't talk about it.
Okay. Keeping it professional.
Probably shouldn't.
I really, besides the Patreon topics, I really only have one thing to talk about because I figured I'd share the story because MomBrain likes it so much. When I was working this week, I usually get up and like make a cup of tea after a while. And I was going in the kitchen, and every time I was in there, 3 times in a row, there was a ladybug on the counter. I'm like, oh, that's nice. And after like the 3rd time, I was like, I see you every time I'm out here. Like,
Have you don't move it when you see it?
no, and it's like walking around and everything. It's not dead, just sitting there. Like
So you
it-
just assume that it would be somewhere else when you went in next time.
I wouldn't imagine every single day I'm going to see it there. So I said to it, I was like, are you my good luck ladybug? What's going on here?
Could be
It's like-
someone from the other side.
You know what I'm going to do? And I went into the cat's food and I took one little like kibble and put it on the counter. I was like, this is for you. And it walked over to it and started eating it right away and stood there and ate it for a while, took a picture of it.
It's Comanche.
In ladybug spirit.
Yeah.
So I was like, I told MomBrain, I'm like, I fed a ladybug a cat food kernel and it loved it. So then the next day
Hope
comes
you left
about.
out some water for it because
Isn't that funny?
kibble.
Isn't that funny?
Kibble's
Nicky
very
Hill?
salty. you know?
Let me continue the story because that was very apropos. I get up the next day, go to work, got my water bottle, sitting down, take a drink, and I'm like, this water tastes weird. I'm like, whatever. I just woke up. I probably got mung mouth or something. I take another sip.
Dead beetle in it.
I'm like, something's up here. Go into the bathroom to empty out the water bottle. This one right here. Ladybug inside.
What?
Inside.
And it's
How?
got a filter. So like even if it crawled down from the
Yep.
top, it had to get past the filter
How did it
that's
do
jammed
that?
in the straw.
And it was alive. I put it
Wow.
out in the sink. It was on its back. It flipped over and like crawled up to the top of the sink. And I was like, oh, all right. But I was drinking ladybug water.
Oh man.
So you were right. The kernel, the kibble made it thirsty and it needed water. I don't know if
That's
it's the
so
same one or not,
strange.
but the fact that it got in there, Nicky Hill is looking like he doesn't believe this story.
I just don't know how it got past the filter.
Well, I mean,
Unless
here's the two
unless
things I
the
can tell you
bottle
for
was open
sure.
at some point.
I can tell you for sure, A, it was in there, and B, I tasted it in there. So
Now you have to take out the filter to empty the bottle, right?
I just like unscrew this whole thing and the whole
Yeah.
comes out.
But he was in the Ladybug was in the bottle.
Yeah.
Okay, so it did make it through that filter. It wasn't
Yeah.
like stuck in the filter.
No, it was in the water down the
Did the
bottom.
ladybug
So
look
gross.
like the late Jonathan Brandis?
Didn't get that close of a look.
Did it look like the late Rodney Dangerfield?
That's what I was going to say. Yep.
Did it
Hi,
look-
SD. Good to see you.
Oh man, who's the woman in that? Jack A. Did it look like Jack A? No, she's still
Oh,
alive.
I wish.
Thank God.
SD says maybe it was a ladybug egg which grew in the bottle. Now that makes perfect sense. We
Oh,
all know
that's-
ladybugs grow from eggs, and that's probably what it was.
So
Hi,
you-
10 Division.
you basically had like
Oh.
ladybug tea.
That's seasonal too.
SD
Man,
says ladybug
nasty.
has a flavor, and 10 Division says everything has a flavor. Yet, I can't tell you. I was like, oh, that's ladybug, because what the hell's a ladybug taste like?
Ladybug.
But I tasted it and I was like, something's wrong. It just-
Bitter, right? Probably.
Yeah, a little bitter. You can smell like
I've smelled them before.
A
and they're
ladybug.
pretty nasty when
you
they
smell like their reflex bleeding. Yeah, that and like oh, you sent the picture. There you go. And like an ant. You can smell ants if they get crushed, and then that brings in a whole bunch of other ants because the ants smell that smell and they're like, one of our brothers have fallen, and they go to get the body because ants bury their fallen friends. So when you smell that like sweet smell that an ant lets out when you crush it, that's what's going on. So don't crush them if you want them out of your house. There's Solid Master Link, the real deal. So there you go. That's my bug story. Let's talk about Patreon. What happened on Oh, let me do this. Do you guys have anything you want to talk about from this week?
No.
Okay.
No, I mean I've seen a ton of movies and stuff. We can talk about it after the show, I guess.
If you want to talk about it now, you're more than welcome to.
Did you watch Dream Scenario yet? That just came out on Max.
I didn't know that was out on Max. Thank you for telling me.
Yeah,
No, I want to
Yeah,
see it.
Yeah, you got to watch it.
You enjoyed it.
I did enjoy it. It wasn't as good as I think it could have been.
You see all the best parts in the trailer.
Ooh, I hate that.
But it's
Like Nick Cage.
definitely worth watching, and it wasn't boring at all. I was
Mhm.
very
I
interested.
just wasn't a big fan of like the final act. Or
Yeah, me too. It doesn't really. Not
like-
that it needs to answer
Did
any
it-
questions, but it doesn't really.
Did it just come out this week on Max?
I think
Yeah.
yesterday.
Because I usually there's sites I go to that are like, here's what's coming out on everything this week, and I never saw anything. I didn't get an email from Max
You know,
either. What the
well,
hell's
Well,
going
they
on?
kept messing with me all week. They had like under like the just added tab, it was there, but it had a little square that said coming soon, so you could watch the others in that one.
just
and I-
added tomorrow.
Exactly. So I saw that for like
Lord.
2 days, and I was like, "That's a bummer." And then one day, it was right there, and it
Thank
said,
you
"Go to movie."
for
So,
saying that. I'm definitely gonna watch that.
but yeah, I think Nicolas Cage was wonderful in it.
I-
He's just because you don't think it's him, like you're not thinking it's him, and the makeup I think is excellent. It was amazing, and it was amazing to see him at the Oscars and be like, that was the same guy that played this role in the movie. Like, it's really astounding.
It was amazing to see him at the Oscars, like in general on stage. I was like, whoa, look at this. They're bringing out Nick
Yeah.
Cage. Yeah, I definitely want to see that. I've heard good things. I've heard not so good things. I've heard mixed things. And it's one of those movies where it's like perfect that I'm like, people are all over the place with this. I really want to see how I feel about
Yeah, it's worth a watch.
it. There's something else I was going to say about that. It's gone. Yeah, let me take this opportunity to thank you on the podcast. You watched Freerin.
Yes, excellent show. Yep,
Ugh.
I love it. Love it. I watched it
love
in
it.
like 2 days. Probably took me 3 days to watch 26 episodes, and I haven't watched the 27th. I saw that it just came out. I
Yeah.
guess. But yeah, I love it. I think it's great. It's a great show.
Go ahead.
I'm on episode 18, I think.
She just got to where they start talking about the entrance exam,
Sure.
the mage exam or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
love
it's still good. I was worried that was going to change up the kind of the flow of the show too much, but I ended up liking that arc. So you've
Yeah.
got cool stuff ahead of you too. It's
Stu
all
and
it's
I were
all good.
talking about it because we got to that arc, and you like I really appreciated the feel of the show. And you get to this arc, and I was like, "Uh-oh, is this going to take away from it?" But as the arc goes on, you're like, "Oh, I also like this."
Yeah.
So, there's stuff I would love to talk about in more detail, but I won't. But yes, thank you for taking that recommendation. I really appreciate that. So I'm glad you enjoyed it. And there's
Yeah.
after this week, one episode, and then the season's done.
Yeah, I didn't know what to expect really. But everything you had said about it was true, and especially about the tropes, how it avoids quite a few tropes.
Very, very few. Yeah, I mean, the most tropish you get really is from Stark. But he's very few and far between with that stuff. But I appreciate his mostly comedic interjections, but he's got serious moments too.
I find it to be a very soothing show.
Yeah, I also think like that. There's something nice about it. I like the way that it's told, and it's jumping through time a lot, but not, and it's never confusing. It's always welcome. Every time you see something like that, it gives you more of the characters. Like, it's very character driven, and you like I don't think there's one character I don't like in it. I like every single character.
There are like a few people maybe every once in a while where you're like, oh, I don't know about, something about this guy, but then eventually you're like, oh, all right, I understand.
I'm really enjoying it. I'm bummed because I looked it up, and I guess it's the opposite problem that you're gonna have. I guess it's a manga that's like got a ton, so we'll be watching this forever and ever, and it's gonna take forever to come out. But I wish it had an ending.
Well,
maybe it does.
I don't know if the manga's over now. I honestly
it's still
don't
going.
know. But like for the amount that's been adapted already, like when we went to Barnes and Noble most recently, I was looking because that's one I'd like to own as far as manga goes. And it was already up to like volume 9 or something. So they've covered a lot in the manga so far.
Yeah.
But I don't know if there's a compendium or whatever, but thank you for taking the recommendation, and I'm very happy you watched it. MomBrain, anything you want to talk about or not?
I don't think so.
All right.
Can't think of anything.
Then I'll go on to Patreon topics. MomBrain, did you know that you could join the GoNintendo Patreon
For $1.
for $1? And if you did, by the way, thank you everybody who's been joining over there recently, and thank you for the longtime supporters and all that. We have a good time over there. Here's what I talked about this week. You can read these posts in detail if you'd like by joining the Patreon. I talked about
For $1.
Mario Day
For
to see
$1.
what people were doing for Mario Day. How were you celebrating? Did you plan anything? Did you play Mario games? Did you just look forward to the announcements or what?
Speaking of Mario Day, it reminds me of Pi Day.
Which is past.
And
Oh, that's right. Give yourself a drum roll. Glad that happened because my phone's not on vibrate.
well, ladies and gentlemen, as you know, I am a teacher. I work in a middle school. And so, of course, celebrated at our middle school is Pi Day on 3/14. And right now, you are all looking at the number 1 winner of the 2024 CTMS Pi Day Pie Contest.
You did it.
My pie
Sorry.
won.
2-time
pie
teacher of the year,
making.
1-time pie winner of the year.
And we have a new restaurant name as well.
So tell about your
Of course,
pie.
there were quite a few jokes made about how some of the judges would eat my pie anytime, which was fun.
Just
That's
students being
appropriate.
students.
It was not students. It was other staff.
Right. No, that's appropriate for the workplace.
Well, it was completely acceptable. The person who said it.
Get to the important part. What was the pie?
It was a speculoos cookie butter pie.
Oh, you made the pie. I thought it was pie eating. I was going to be
No,
like,
no,
oh,
no.
man. Well,
Nope.
where's the fun in that? I'm just kidding. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yep. I want to say there were like 10 people that entered. I mean, I actually wasn't going to do it because I was not in the mood to make a pie. I have a lot to do every day after school and in school. So I was like, I really want to make a pie. But my friend was like, could you please support Pie Day? So I was like, sure. So the teachers ate the pie, judged the pies, and I am the winner. And I now have the pie plate hanging in my window of my door at school.
Oh, cool.
So now you have to
Like a
defend it
trophy?
every year.
So yeah, and I have to,
Oh, really? Is that how it works?
No.
It's like the Stanley Cup. It gets
Yeah,
passed
yeah.
around.
That's what it is.
So I in the morning when I come in, if some of my teacher friends are standing outside, I'm like, "Did you come to bow to the Queen of High
Nice.
Day?"
Yeah, milk
Yeah,
it.
I
Milk
am.
it.
I am, and I'm a little bit disappointed that the principal hasn't made an announcement yet about
Monday. It'll be Monday to cheer everybody up.
Yeah, maybe. But-
Was this is this a recipe you've used before, or was
Yes.
this? Yep.
Yep.
So you brought in a ringer. You knew what you were playing with.
Also,
wouldn't-
it's speculoos. Speculoos.
Speculous is what I say.
Speculoos.
But yeah, I guess you wouldn't try something new for a contest, right?
Yeah, I mean, I would. Yeah, I would have made two. I would have made one to eat to make sure it was good before I.
And
you
one
know.
for RMC to mess up.
Oh my god, I would have messed it up
He
already.
was real disappointed.
You know what? You know
I
what really
was.
put it over the top? The extra ladybugs in it.
Probably.
The
Probably.
secret ingredient is reflex bleeding. Congratulations, MomBrain.
Thank you.
Yes, Mario Day happened, and Nintendo has been leaning more into Mario Day in recent years, and they went, I'd say, the hardest this year. We'll talk about some of that later.
Yeah, I got an
today.
email about Mario Day 4 days later. It's like, you're a little late, folks. From Nintendo.
I thought we got one the day of as well.
I
but
may have
I'll
gotten one the
double
day
check.
of, but then it was like a couple days later. It was like support or celebrate Mario Day, and I'm like,
Well, yeah, they were doing sales that lasted longer than Mario Day.
yeah, but you're not celebrating Mario Day.
You're right. You should tell Nintendo, don't talk
We're
about Mario.
fair.
You are correct. I'm not going to fight this fight. Just no Mario. Over. There's week-long Mario sales. Why not be like, hey, don't forget the Mario Day sales are still happening.
It's an advertisement too. You
Yeah.
know, it's not like Miyamoto sending you an email personally.
I mean,
Don't
I
you
forgot
send
to
out-
get to Nicky Hill. Oh no!
It is
Uh,
not the 10th anymore.
well,
No more Mario. talk.
Forgive
I-
the lateness of my reply.
You know, one of those like, did you miss Mario Day? Well, then you missed all these great announcements or something like that.
no, you send out the announcement ahead of time, and then again on Mario Day, not days later. I don't get emails about Christmas stuff.
That's right, because who's
days later.
gonna talk about it after? Oh, here we are talking about it. You got to be your own hype man. If you're not
Well,
gonna
we're
hype
talking
yourself
about
up,
it because he got it late. I mean, to be fair.
well, we're gonna recap Mario Day stuff too. So, I mean, announcements happen on Mario Day. Like I said, there was a sale on Mario. I don't know if the sale's still going on, but we will be talking more Mario. But yeah, I
Well,
asked everybody what they were doing for Mario
I
Day.
guess the most important thing, Nicky Hill, then is: will this insult from Nintendo? Will that be enough
I'm
for you
done.
to stop playing Mario
Forgiveness,
games? Good.
please.
Done
That's
with
right.
all.
They sent me a Mario email on the 11th. I'm out. I also talked about Fortnite in general because I was like, Dew and I have talked about how much we like this season. And I just put something together about how impressive Fortnite is in general for a game as a service to continue to reinvent itself and offer content that is really engaging and brings in new people and retains who's there. And all of it's added on top of the core experience, which is already a ton of fun. It's just this Greek mythology season is a blast with the lightning bolts and the wing traversal and just the new locations on the map. It's a great time. And it's just the more, we put in literally years with Fortnite, and the longer it goes on, the more and more impressed I am with how they continue to keep people there and engaged. And it's not like every season everything is a hit or every location is great, but every season has something to it that you enjoy, and there's way more hits than there are misses, and there's never anything that makes a season completely unplayable by any means. So it's impressive. So I wrote about that. I also wrote about the Final Fantasy VII remake. I'm playing remake right
You love it? Yes, you are.
the battle system. I
Starting to like it.
No, I
Aw.
don't dislike it, but I feel like I'm never really in control of it. Like, I feel like I'm never really grasping it like I should be. I just feel like, what's it called? The active time battle stuff from the original. What in this one, I feel like all I'm ever doing is like healing myself.
Yeah.
And I'm healing myself. I know I got like materia where like there's materia on Tifa's that she can do auto cure on me and she takes care of that. But I don't. I feel like there are. I have trouble seeing some of the attacks. Like there's attacks where an enemy has the name of the attack above its head, and I'm like, oh, obvious, okay. And then there's other stuff where it just happens, and I'm like, I didn't see that coming. I couldn't gauge when that was coming. And I'm like, I guess that's like an RPG traditionally because there's attacks you can't dodge no matter what.
Right.
So that's going to happen here. But I just feel like so much of my time is spent on health management.
Right.
I don't know. There'll be fights where I lose once or twice and I make it through. It's not like I'm doing the same fight 6 or 7 times and I can't get through it. It's just I feel like, what am I, 7 hours now? I should have a better grasp on it. So the lovely people on Patreon were like, I also felt this way for most of the game, or like, here's a couple things that I did that made me feel better about it, or like what you're feeling is normal for where you're at. So, a whole bunch of things was in there. So it's a really interesting conversation. But I know you're in the sequel and you had a tough time adjusting to the changes in the battle system from the first game. But do you remember struggling at all with the first game?
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel the same way that you do, where I felt fine, like I can get through the fights, but I don't feel like I'm using my full potential, and I don't feel like I'm doing it. I'm not understanding
Hi, Vachi.
everything about how the battle system works. Like the active time battle meter makes sense to me, but the limit meter and the synergy meters are very confusing. I don't know when they pop up, and the summons, like, it's a summon materia, but you can't use it until you're almost dead. And like, but what's the criteria of when you can use it? And when I'm almost dead, I don't want to summon it. I want to heal myself.
Yeah.
So like, there's a lot about the battle system that I've been finding very confusing. And because of that, I feel like I'm not getting the most out of the battle system.
When it explains summons to me, and it's like the summon meter will fill, blah, blah, whatever. But it also said something that basically made it sound like you can use summons when we want you to, and it'll be there sometimes, and it won't be there. And I'm like, so is the game picking when it shows up, or is there something I can do to make it? And I'm like, I guess not. The game's just going to be like, okay, this is a fight where you can use a summon. And I'm like, I don't know. I got to play more to find out. But I was like, I don't understand.
So would you say with the fighting, summon good, summon bad?
Oh, I think I would say that.
Yes. There's the fighting system or the battle system is interesting, and it's certainly action packed. But I just feel like I'm never getting like a grasp on it. Whereas like in the original Final Fantasy VII or something like maybe a more traditional RPG, when things click, I feel great. I'm like, I know exactly what's going on here. There's still strategy involved, but I know what to do and when to do it. I know how everything works. And in this game, I'm just kind of like, well, fumbling my way through things. Again, I'm not like dying all the time, but I am dying more than I would like to. And I don't know. I don't know. So I'll talk more about that.
That's pretty much how I feel with any game that I play, even the simplest. And,
the battle mechanics of Mario are crazy here. Jumping on guys. What am I supposed to do?
I just never feel like I have a grasp for anything. Just struggling my way through.
We know. We hear you say it all the time, but you're too hard on yourself. You finished Prince of Persia after all the complaining about that. You did it. You beat it.
I also chose easier settings, so I could.
Oh my God.
There's always a,
Can you ever take a compliment? Can you just be like, oh, thank you? You know what? Maybe I am too hard on myself.
No, but I'm just saying that's how I have a hard time with games. Like
you have a hard time with games, sure.
So you've met your match.
My
you've
counterpoint.
Met your challenge. That's it. That's how I feel. I'm just saying. How you feel in that is how I feel with every game that I play. Now you understand what I feel. It's the frustration. It's
my
real.
Counterpoint is
you don't need a counterpoint. I'm just saying, welcome to my world.
Leprechauns are supposed to be jolly.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm sweating.
My counterpoint is you have a hard time with games. You always say that. I understand that. But what I'm saying is it can't be that hard because you beat the game. You get it. Like you made it.
I beat it on the easy level.
So what?
That's how it's not as hard. I made it easy.
Well, the mechanics are the same, no? It's not like, somebody's got less health or you got more health. It's not like the mechanics are different.
No,
it's still attacking and quick times and all that stuff.
No, one of the settings is it's a easier response for parrying so that you can actually counter. Like it gives you a much larger window to respond.
I understand. But the same mechanics are
your
there.
hands still have to be holding the controller, and you've got to be playing the game. You can't just put it down and win.
Right.
And
But
watch
the reaction
credits.
time is like 4 minutes as opposed to
you keep saying
10
but
seconds.
who does that matter?
Doesn't matter. Did you get to see
Yeah,
the
it doesn't
credits?
matter.
Did you beat the game? Did
I don't
the
know.
game
When
get-
I played a game on easy and I beat it, and I was like, I don't know what was so hard about it. You laughed at me because I beat it on easy. So, like,
That conversation was different, and you're being
Hey, what
disingenuous, and
happened?
you know it. You beat that game. I had a
Gonna have to
really
kill
hard
each other
time with
while I'm
that
gone.
game. And then we found out that
Uh-oh.
you played on easy and I did not. And
Right.
that's why the discrepancy was there. That's a different situation. But because I was like, man, I really struggled with that game.
right.
And you're like,
but
no,
I'm
I
not,
didn't have a
I'm
problem.
not arguing anything. I'm just saying that's where I live. I live in the struggle with every game.
We know. But that's what I'm,
like stack these blocks, and I'm like, "Ah."
and that's what I'm saying. I get
Where's
it
that red
you
one gonna go?
always
Like,
feel
I
the
can't.
struggle. I understand that. But you have to take time to recognize that you feel the struggle, but you finish the game too. So you
Well, keep on at it then, buddy. You're gonna finish that game.
Me? What are you talking? I'm talking about you.
I didn't bring it up to like come down on myself or whatever. I was just saying, welcome. Like,
Here, I got a
that's-
question. Can you say you did a good job with Prince of Persia?
I beat it.
That's not what I asked.
I beat it. That's
Say
what
it.
I'm
All
saying.
right. That's it. We'll stop. I see what I'm getting at.
What's the good job, bad job? Like,
I'm not going to talk about it. You can't say it. We won't do it. I'll leave it alone. It's okay. You beat Prince of Persia.
That's it.
Congratulations.
there was a goal and I accomplished it.
Would you say you did a good job accomplishing
No,
it?
How about this? Did you have fun playing the game?
no, it's a pass or fail. If you like, it's a pass or fail. It's not like on a scale like
I would say playing a game is not a pass or a fail, but that's me. I'd say the playing
okay.
a game is
to
the
explain to me
experience.
what a bad job of beating a game would be.
Oh, I'm not talking about beating a game. I'm saying
No,
you did
no. Did I do a good job at beating Prince of Persia? What's the bad job?
That's
then?
not what I meant when I said doing a good job. I meant like, did you make it through the game?
And
Did
I
you see
said
what you
yes.
wanna
I
see?
beat the game. Did you do a good job? I don't know. What's the good and the bad?
That's
I
for-
beat the game.
That's for you to decide. That's what I'm saying.
No, but you're the one asking. So what is your scale?
I'm telling you right now, doing a good job to me does not mean beating the game. I'm just saying, did you do what the game asked of you? Did you explore? Did you collect things?
Beard.
That's I
The beard is
suffer with
getting
this
me
all
right
the
now.
time. So that's what do a good job means to me. I'm not saying beat the game means
No,
a good
I didn't
job.
do a great job because there's a lot of stuff that I didn't do because I couldn't do it.
So even with my criteria, you're saying no.
Shouldn't the criteria be
I thought
fun
you just
though?
wait a
Did you
minute,
have
what's
fun?
a good job? Well, a good job is collecting things and doing stuff. There
Yeah,
are sections in the game.
Experiencing the story, making it through the different levels, and
So
seeing what there is to
anybody
offer.
who gets to the end, it did a good job. So why are you
I don't think they
asking
need.
me?
No,
if
I
I
don't
did a
think they
good-
need to get to the end. You said explain it how I'm explaining it. I'm trying to tell you, and you keep going back to that.
So
It's got nothing to do
so
with the end.
people who quit early still did a good job. That's beautiful.
Yeah, if they had fun,
Good for
sure.
them.
Yeah, if you, I'm just because you don't get to the end of a game. I mean, we've all had games we don't get to the end with, but I've played games where I have not beaten them, and I've been like, I'm really proud of myself with what I did there. Like Battletoads, I've never beaten Battletoads, but I'm like, I'm happy with what I did there. Nowadays, I still go back to try and beat the Turbo Tunnel. If I can beat the Turbo Tunnel, I'm like, still got it, but I've never beaten that game. But I'm not like mad at myself for not beating that game. One day I would like to, sure, but I'm still like, I enjoyed that game. I had a fun time. I did a good job doing what I could do, like especially when I was a little kid and just fumbling my way through that stuff. But yeah, there's more to it than just seeing the credits.
No,
No, there's not. All right, fine.
This was very funny. I love
It
this.
is.
I'm still a little confused on what a bad job would be.
It would be whatever you think it would be.
I mean, it's
but I can
basically
describe
however
what I
I
would think a
play a
bad.
game is a bad job because I'm like, I didn't do good enough.
Well, are you asking what a bad job is for me? Because I can tell you what I would think a bad job is. A bad job is not paying attention to what's going on, not giving the game time to explain itself, not skipping over story bits and then being like, I don't understand what's going on. I would say that would be a bad job.
I pay attention to everything,
Mm-hmm.
but at the end of the game, I can't tell you anything of what happened. So it's a bad job.
I can't.
Like,
Okay, you did a bad job. I can't.
it's a shame.
It's a shame. I can't do a good job. It's a shame.
No.
Oh, that's funny stuff.
Imagine if Nicky Hill spoke to anyone else the way he speaks to himself.
Right there it is.
There you go.
He would
There you
never,
go.
It is.
ever, and
He would never let anybody
Wait,
get away with
I'm
that.
You
gonna
don't know how I
add-
am at work. I show up at work and I'm like, "What's up, loser?"
And
Gonna suck
You
it up
know
today?
That's not the point.
if he found out that anybody was talking about us that way, he'd be
Mhm.
livid.
That's right.
That's
That's
right.
Just think about that. Imagine someone talking to me the way you talk about yourself. How
It's
would you
true.
feel?
It's true.
You'd feel terrible. You'd be so upset. And if you
Terrible.
wouldn't, then you're a loser.
Well, it's not true.
I'm
I
kidding.
am.
Oh
You were
God.
doing
think
so
about
good, and
that.
then you ended it with that.
Just think about that. You know?
You don't deserve it.
Oh God, you're not.
Exactly.
This is it.
Exactly.
This is it. We're not going anywhere. It's a moot point. I also talked about Uematsu, who is the composer on. He's been a composer on a whole bunch of games, most notably Final Fantasy series. He doesn't compose full soundtracks like he used to. I believe he recently said he doesn't think he has it in him to do full soundtracks anymore, but he will still do like main themes for Final Fantasy or songs for a couple songs for a game or whatever. But he had some really interesting, controversial to some comments on soundtracks in games that really resonated with me on a bunch of levels, but not to the full degree that of which he said them. I'm paraphrasing here, and again, it's tough when you're doing translations because I don't speak Japanese, so I don't know the tone of which he said things, and sometimes translations can add like a curtness or a harshness to things depending on how you read them. So I don't know what his actual intentions were. I don't think he was mean by any degree, but he was saying he feels that game soundtracks nowadays, he's saddened to see that so many go for what he describes as a movie style soundtrack. So he's talking about, orchestrated and handled as if it was a movie. He's like, that kind of disappoints him because he likes he's like, why are game soundtracks trying to be like movie soundtracks when we can do so much more and we can be so much different and we can be experimental? And he's like, back in the early days, when we transitioned from chip tunes and stuff into platforms that had CDs, he's like, we had so much more room to work and we could use any instrument basically. And he said, I resisted that with something like Final Fantasy VII, where he was like, I did use real instruments in some songs because I could, but I also find things like endearing and interesting and unique about the instruments that games were using up to that point because you don't get that anywhere else. And he's like, that's why I was really hesitant to go all one direction. And he's like, now I feel like that's where a lot of the industry is. You just get movie or soundtracks in games that sounds like they would in a movie. And he's kind of lamenting that that's the case, or that's the way things are now. And I understand that to a degree. I would never fault a composer. It's a composer's job to craft whatever song or style song or whatever soundtrack they want. So if a composer wants to go with an orchestrated soundtrack that's similar to what you would hear in a movie, so be it. And if that's the direction he's getting from the studio, then that's the direction he's getting and that's the way it goes. But if a composer has more freedom, hopefully they would go in whatever direction they see fit. But it does seem like a lot of composers default to, we have a medium that allows for us to use orchestrated soundtracks, so that's what we're going to do. And I personally do find disappointment in that. And there could be orchestrated soundtracks I absolutely love, but I do miss the era of experimentation with instruments you will not hear anywhere else, like all that kind of stuff.
Some of that was what they had to work with, though,
Well,
which is like the part of the magic.
He
of it.
also said that too. He's like, the limitations back then breathed in experimentation and uniqueness, and just because we have this now doesn't mean that should be forgotten or is worthless. He's like,
It's
there's
great points that he's making, stuff
Yeah.
I never really thought about, because I know it's different because these are in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, they're arrangements of his old songs, but like some of them are amazing movie quality, and as much as I was appreciating that, now I'm hearing him talk about it like this, and it's like, it's interesting to think about. It is kind of like a lost art. You could see why they would want to make everything kind of orchestrated and stuff, because that's the direction it's going. But plus, a lot of graphics are like really realistic, and sometimes you can't really have like the doot 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 chiptune in there with like real looking graphics. I mean, you can,
You
but
can,
but
it's not what people would
they're not
expect. but you
they're not
can, yeah.
experimenting with stuff like that, and you can kind of see
Yeah.
why. But yeah, it'd be fun to get a little more experimentation in there.
When it comes to indie developers, you get a lot more experimentation. There's certainly orchestrated things, but yes, you get a lot more of that from indie developers because I think indies, even not when it's just related to audio, when it's talking about visuals as well, they, as I've said to you before, I see a lot of merit in art styles that were born from limitation decades ago as being valid today. Just because that was the limit of what we could do then doesn't mean that we shouldn't use it now. I love seeing that in video games where right now the PlayStation 1 era of visual is having a moment. A lot of game developers, or I should say a lot of indie developers specifically, are using that as a visual style for the games that they are making because they like that style. They see merit in it. They find something beautiful in it. They like to explore within that because obviously on the surface, it might look like a PS1 game, but it's doing much more than a PS1 game could. So there's interesting things in that. And obviously soundtracks tie to that as well. There's plenty of composers that do chip tunes or marry chip tunes with real instruments or just experiment with sounds in general. And I said on Patreon, it's going to sound fanboyish, but if I have to pick a developer that's a big name developer that still experiments, I would say it's Nintendo because Nintendo certainly does orchestrated music as you hear in Tears of the Kingdom, but Tears of the Kingdom also has MIDI stuff and experimental stuff as well. And look at something like Splatoon. Splatoon is an extremely experimental series when it comes to audio because there are real guitars, but singers singing made up languages with weird voice filters. And there's chiptune stuff all throughout Splatoon. Like they do a great job of marrying those different things into something that sounds like a wholly original soundscape for Splatoon. When you hear a Splatoon style song, or when you hear like a Splatoon song, you're like, that's a Splatoon song because it's got this crunchiness and it's got these kind of vocals and it's heavy on guitar riffs or whatever it may be. Hey, that's enough of that. I can't say serious without her waking up. But yeah, part of it, I think is also related to a portion of the industry's never-ending desire to just be validated and go for realism. Like they just can't get satiated with that. We got to get realer. We got to get more valid. We got to get more symphonic. We got to get better, more realistic graphics. And there were people on Patreon who were saying, like, why is there this never-ending pursuit of something that is leading us to what we already have in real life? Like, why are we so obsessed with seeing things that look real when that's what we already have? Like, when we get to real, some games are pretty much there now. Where do you go after? There's no more real than real. Like, are we going to forever chase real to the point where, games 20 years from now are just picked apart endlessly because they're little tiny tidbits that are uncanny valley, throw off the whole experience? It's silly. And it's sort of related to music because you're like, we have real instruments and they're beautiful. And there's plenty of soundtracks that are beautiful that use real traditional instruments, but we have so much we can experiment with and so much we can pull from in the past as well to make brand new things. As long as the composer is doing what they want, that's totally fine by me. But I do personally like when composers experiment and mix and match. Nier Automata is another great example because there are songs with beautiful singing and full orchestras, and there's other songs that use instruments you wouldn't expect to hear, and then there's some songs that have chiptune elements to them. So it's a great mix in that. A lovely, fantastic soundtrack in general. But there are composers out there doing that stuff. And then the only other thing I'll say on the topic is we have moved away. Again, I would exclude Nintendo for the most part. We've moved away from games where they had songs that were made with a hook because they would loop over and over again. We don't really have too many games nowadays where you're like, that's a catchy soundtrack because it's full of songs that you're like, oh, and you can sing to yourself or hum to yourself.
Right.
And it doesn't really happen. It's happening with Rebirth, I'm sure, for you, but it's because of the bass songs from Final Fantasy VII. Like those songs
That's exactly why, yeah.
were made to loop, were made really strong melodically, and they stick with you, and they're just good,
strong.
catchy
You
songs.
can listen to them for hours and hours
Yeah.
and hours. That Chocobo song, They've got like 4 different versions of it, and they're all so good. Oh my god! But you can listen to it, and it's just like a little doodly doo melody, but you can listen to it for hours.
Yeah, and I was trying to think of games today that have soundtracks where like I can hum the songs and they stick with me, and like old games. And there's not too many. I mentioned Nier Automata a minute ago. I would include that here. Nier has some excellent songs. They're longer than your traditional old school songs, but they are songs you can sing along to and hum. And they do loop. But yeah, a lot of stuff is
Animal
just
Crossing New Horizon is
yeah.
great at that. You can because
Yes.
for a whole hour you got to listen to a song, and they never get boring, and they loop, and you're
sad to see, except for 2 p.m.
I think it's 3 p.m. is the one
You're
bugs
sad
me.
to see it go, but you're glad that the next, it's like the
Yeah.
perfect.
Might be 2 to 3. I don't remember now, but yeah, you're right. Like
Hi, Marsboro.
And-
you're always like, oh, it's fading out. Oh, it's an hour already, and then like the new one comes on, and you're like, all right, okay, yeah. Like 5 seconds in, you're singing along. So.
And I know like this is, just the way like things go, but I will always and forever, because it was, and most people I think have this experience, and I'm sorry that you didn't, but because it was a pandemic game, I also have these like very fond memories of early pandemic, of that providing me such comfort and peace in the pandemic. Like and it was when we had the living room bed
I was
set
gonna
up,
say sitting in a living room bed playing Animal Crossing.
playing
Freehand.
freehand, so I could literally just be laying under the covers like just a body under the covers playing. And I have such fond memories. And I was like playing online with family and friends. Like it was just such
For hours. Yeah.
yeah. So, and some of those songs, so I must have like played at like 8, 9, 10 p.m. because those songs specifically are the ones that really get me.
They're great ones.
But it just was such a great, like that music really does, just like when I play like Wind Waker or hear music from Wind Waker, or I mean, I guess Ocarina of Time too remind me of like college and being with Lisa and playing, like, I don't know.
Yeah, and all those songs can loop, and you could keep listening to them.
Yeah.
I think forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going through games in my mind when I was writing this, just trying to think of modern examples, and they are few and far between. There are modern games that have excellent soundtracks, but like The Last of Us Part 2 has an amazing
Ooh, that one gets me.
soundtrack, and it has a theme song that you know very well, but by and large through the experience you're not really thinking music. There's like background stuff,
Well,
but
I hear Joel singing the song.
Oh god.
Gets me every
yeah.
time.
I mean, like I said, there are songs that are important to that game. It's not exactly the all-encompassing soundscape. Yeah, Oreo Lemon, perfect example. Doom 2016 was also brought up on Patreon. Phenomenal soundtrack that exactly gets what Doom is going for. That and Doom Eternal soundtracks are killer, and they are looping, but they're just heavy metal, insane guitar that fits so well with the Doom universe. That's like that composer, whatever his name was, definitely got like what Doom was all about and created some amazing stuff.
Are they making another Doom?
Haven't officially announced anything yet.
Man, because those two were great.
Yeah, they had a big falling out with the composer. So if there is another one, I don't think he'll be back, which is a shame because his music
Oh, that's a bummer. I wonder
killed
why that
it.
happened.
They had a big thing where they're supposed to release the soundtrack physically, and the physical version ended up getting remastered and finished by some other composer, and they screwed over the original composer, and he like had there's a big giant mess that ended with him saying, "I'm not working with them anymore," which sucks because not only did Doom specifically Doom 2016 got a ton of attention, but a lot of that was heaped on the soundtrack as well, because everybody's like, this is what you want from a Doom soundtrack.
It was awesome.
And yeah, it seems like he will not be a part of it going forward.
That Doom Eternal especially was so much fun.
Yeah. They're perfect example of reviving a franchise, like understanding what made the franchise work, what people want, what people expect from the experience, and taking the music stylings of the original Doom games, what they were aiming for, and bringing that up to now, but still giving you like loops that are really addictive, and they kick in at exactly the right time and match the action perfectly, where you feel like such a badass when you're playing that game. It's crazy. Yeah, Zikamuto says, I feel Doom 2016 soundtrack was a great homage to the original 1993 soundtrack. Yeah, the original with its MIDI sounds was going for, to be completely honest, it stole a lot from a lot of heavy metal songs back then, but that's what the vibe was. And then Doom 2016 realized that with what they were going for at the time. So yeah, great stuff. But that's what Uematsu talked about. And there were a lot of people, and not a remake. That's right, Tony. A lot of people who were saying his comments were interesting or were upset about his comments or were like, this is an old guy who doesn't get it. Or so it brought up a lot of conversation. I just found the conversation really interesting. So
Uematsu, that's the guy that did Final Fantasy, right?
that's him. That's how we started the conversation. Perfect end.
Yes, boy.
Perfect circle. I also talked about how whatever it is, the Star Wars Battlefront Classic Collection is out, and it's got a whole bunch of problems, server sides and bugs and sound changes, and just a whole bunch of people
Ladybugs?
complaining. I don't think
Estimating the
Ladybugs.
power of the dark side.
A whole bunch of people complaining about it, and I took it as an opportunity to complain about how it is a game in 2024 that doesn't have inverse controls. No option to change it.
Sickening.
And it's not the first time this developer, Aspire,
Which game is
has
this?
done
Forgive
this.
me.
Star Wars Battlefront Classic Collection, the first 2 Battlefront games in one new package. So
And they
do
didn't
anything
add
else,
in
though?
that. Huh.
they've redone visuals, they've tweaked music, they've changed gameplay mechanics, but
That doesn't
no
make
one on the team
sense.
was like, hey, maybe we should put in an inverse controls
That
option.
doesn't even make sense.
It's not the first time they've done it with a Star Wars game. The same company put out, I forget what it was, Dark Forces 2.
Wait, can you
and
change
had
that
no
on the controller,
inverse.
though? Can you change that in the accessibility
On
option?
the Switch one, I don't know. I don't know if you can.
I wonder if they just didn't do things like they don't do
You
things
can make
because
a-
they're like, you can do it anyway if you really want
That's
to.
the worst if that were the
that's not it.
case.
I don't know if on Switch you can be like, when I push joystick down, I mean up. You can be like, when I push this joystick, I actually mean this button, but outside of
You
like,
can't choose directions.
I don't know, honestly. I haven't tried that. I've swapped buttons to do different things, but I haven't tried make up as down, down as up.
I feel like you'd be able to do that.
I don't know. I don't know what the case is for any system, to tell you the truth. I don't know if you can
I'm-
have a reverse or a southpaw. as they
I'm
used to
pretty
call it.
sure the PS5 in the settings, you can have it kind of default under your profile to be inverse. And it should automatically do it in each game. But
I'll have to check on the Switch. But I saw people are like, I bought this game. How is there not an inverse? I would have never even thought to look if there was an
exactly,
inverse.
why
Like,
would you? Why
it's-
would
it's
you?
crazy.
William says you can't do anything to change the controls to invert.
There you go.
Not
Not even
even
system
system
side.
Man, that's a
Can't
bummer.
do it. Ninja Bunny says, I face this issue with every game I play. Yeah,
They
again,
just lost a sale for me because if I can't spend the first hour switching back and forth and saying I don't
Yeah.
like this and switching back and going no I don't like this either and switching back and going nope don't like this, then I'm not getting it. That's the experience for
My
me.
man.
that doesn't happen to me with every game, but there are not inverse up and down. There are some games, I don't know why, where horizontal camera movement, I'll go to do it and I'm like, that's not right. And I'll switch it and I'll be like, that's also not right.
Yeah.
So clearly something's wrong with me here. I don't know what it is.
No, it
'cause
could also be the way it's programmed and like the like like for me it could be the sensitivity is just slightly
Yeah.
off and I need to maybe adjust that. Like there's so many different
It's something
factors.
about, I can't put my finger on what it is. It's something about the camera placement or the sensitivity. Like you said, every once in a while I'll get a game where I'm like, neither of these
or
feel right. to
the
me.
way the camera reacts even though you are controlling it. But Princess Peach Showtime,
Yes.
is that a normal thing? Like the way the controls are in that with B and A. Like, those are your only two controls, and B, I don't know which one it is now. You can change it, but like the default, it felt backwards to me, and I was like, why is this like this?
It is not backwards, but it's not the buttons you would traditionally use for those actions now. Like it's like pretending as if it were an NES controller, where that's not the case, obviously. But yeah, in the options you can switch that.
Yeah,
And
it
I
just
was like, you
felt
know what?
backwards to
I don't
me.
think I need to. And I played it with the way it was, and it was fine. It's just, I had to put myself in the mindset of this is NES style controls versus Super Nintendo or onward. But yes, you can change it in that game. Hi, Freddie Fro. Good to see you. Have fun visiting family. So yeah, I was shocked, but that game, as other people were pointing out, has a litany of other issues that will need to be addressed, and Aspire has already said they're working on some fixes for that, but they have not mentioned inverse at all. Although the last game they did this where they didn't have inverted controls. They did do a free update where it was added in. So hopefully that's the case here, but it seems like there's a lot more to fix with this one before they get to that point.
So with their last game, they had to do a free update to add that in, and then on the new game, they didn't think, hey, let's
You're
program
exactly
this in.
right. Yeah, you would think after it happening last time, they would have made. I don't. Something's up there because I can't imagine no one on the team is like, hey,
Yeah, who's
can we
like,
do
is
this?
that-
And
well-
also, I'm not a programmer.
Yeah,
but
is that something
I don't
that
believe it's very hard to do.
like I don't know. Do
I
they just
can't
do they
imagine
not
it's a
know
hard
how to
thing to
do it?
do.
And they're like, well, we can't fit this on the cartridge, so we'll just make it an update later.
Yeah, no, I don't know what's going on there. I don't know. I got no answer, but yeah, I can't imagine in the grand scheme of programming things, it would be hard to do. You know, I would argue maybe the rest of the game would be the harder thing to make work rather than changing up is down and down is up. But we'll see if they fix it. I'll let you know. And then finally, I talked about Community Day because, as Deux knows, it is Community Day for Pikmin Bloom players. It is
Today?
Community Day today and tomorrow. In Pokemon Go, it is Community Day, I believe, locally 2 to 5 p.m.
These be community days.
But I was asking people how you tackle your community days. I was leaning more towards the Pikmin Bloom players because there's a little more variety there in what we can do. But I was asking, how do you do it? Do you wake up early in the morning like Deux does? Well, he gets up early anyway and goes out there and knocks the walk out. Are you like me and you're like, well, it's 12:01, time to get this
Did you
crap
do
out
that
of the way?
last night?
I never do it right at 12:01. So what I do is I play Fortnite with family. I go upstairs and I do my round of work, and then I go right downstairs and do the walk because I'm like, I want to get this over.
So
with.
you did it last night,
Yeah.
or like at 3 a.m.?
I did it. Started at 2, was finished at 3:50. Yeah.
And that doesn't keep you awake when you try to go to sleep later?
If anything, I'm asleep faster.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah? That's
I
good.
passed out pretty quickly after that. I watched like a few TikToks and then I was like, I'm dying. I'm gonna go to sleep.
Cool.
And I went
Well,
to
that
sleep.
helps.
Then I woke up today and I was like, I'm very tired because we went and my cousin works at a restaurant and we were going to the restaurant for a family dinner. And I was like, it's community day tomorrow, so I'm just going to eat whatever I want. So I was like extra stuffed. And then I'm on the treadmill and I'm like, this was a terrible decisions. And then I woke up today and I'm like, I'm so tired. But yeah, I get the community day walk out of the way right away.
Did
So I asked
your,
everybody what they do.
Did your cousin sit down with you guys and like
Yes.
get in trouble again or something?
No.
What happened?
She sat down with us to talk to us, and then somebody else from the restaurant came over and was like, "Oh, we need you in the kitchen,"
Oh,
but really pulled her away
to-
because they thought we were
to-
strangers and they
right.
were trying to save her. Yeah, this time they knew because her parents were there this time, and they
Well,
know her
and
parents.
she like told her manager, she was like, set aside a table for 7 because my family's coming in. And then she said everyone kept saying how like beautiful her family is. And I was like, if only they knew how effing weird we all are. Like it's just such a funny thing. And
All they see is us laughing and talking and smiling. So like, what a lovely family.
the other piece of it is that like everyone's insides in the family, most everyone we were out with, our insides all match like exactly, but our outsides are so different. Like Raw Meat and I stand out so differently, like visibly from the rest of the family, that I often think like when we're all out together, like do people think like, what's with those two? Like, how do they fit into this equation? Because everyone
everybody
else
else-
is very like
Yeah.
conservatively put together, like what, like normal people, like you would
Right.
expect. And then
Muted colors.
yeah, and then there's us looking ridiculous. And I think, geez, like they're family, so I don't think they think about it really. But like other
No,
people,
SD, I was not wearing this hat at the.
it's I don't know. I just
But
But you
wearing
would.
a hat,
I mean,
yeah, I
that's
would.
not going to stop them.
something
yeah.
about it tickles me. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a good time. We had a good time. But yeah, so I was stuffed to the gills and did the walk and it was extra painful, but I always have SmackDown to watch while I'm doing it, so that's good. Although it's a pain in the ass, as I've said, because I have to put my phone in my pocket. So I got to bring my laptop down there and set up a whole stand in front of the treadmill and everything, but whatever. So that's what I do. I haven't read what
Gotta
you guys
hook you
do
up with
yet.
something like my Kindle rig, but for you to
Well,
watch.
I have that for my phone, but
Yeah.
not for like a laptop.
You know what?
or a-
I should you should use the Kindle Fire and plug it into like a speaker.
It's once a month. It's not like, it's annoying while I'm doing it, but it's only once a month. It's not a big deal. So yeah, I didn't read what you guys do yet, but I will be reading it on Patreon because I'm interested to see how you spend your community days. It's because some people split it up throughout the day. They're like, I'm going to go out for a quick walk in the morning, and then later at the end of the day, I'll do the rest of it. As we've said before, it's 2 days, but you can't do your 10K across 2 days. You have to pick one of the days to do your 10K steps. So,
Could you
eager to see what happens.
imagine going out there late at night and like
walking at 11 and
You're-
finishing at 12:30?
and well, like you're at 9,000 and like 9,800 steps or whatever, and then like it just switches over and like
Yeah.
you missed the last 2 steps for the 10,000.
Well, that would certainly suck, but I guess at the least you would be like, well, I got another day to do it, I guess, but I don't want to. But yes, it would suck. It would. And I'm sure it's happened to somebody. So
The rules in this community Nintendo are pretty darn strict. Worst HOA ever. NOA?
Gotta,
HOA, NOA?
Oh, baby.
I mean, I
DOA.
I don't.
Oh.
I just got to clarify. Nintendo's not involved with development. It's Niantic. I just want to put that out there. But
Niantic, the bamboo wallet people, get them.
oh, sorry.
Right.
the
Took me a
people I
You have
won
to do air
something
quotes
from?
when you say wallet.
Yeah, right.
All right, let's do some news. Let's get into the news. MomBrain, if you please.
Heard there's not much this week.
There is not.
So everyone at Nintendo, everyone at Nintendo was busy celebrating Mario Day all week long.
Well,
Oh,
then there'd be a lot of news. They said we can't talk about Mario after Mario Day. So Mario Day brought us release dates for Luigi's Mansion 2 and Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door, but it had bigger news. None other than Shigeru Miyamoto was part of a surprise Mario Day presentation that they did, and he was like, "Guess what? The thing you already knew we're doing is official." They announced a new Mario Brothers animated movie. So no surprise there. It was not officially announced at any way or at any place or at any time. Just something everybody
For
knew
next
they were
year,
going
though.
to do 2026.
Six.
So 2 years from
years.
now. But April 2026 is what they said. That could change, obviously. We have no plot details about the movie, but a sequel film is in the works. The least surprising news ever.
Will we still love Chris Pratt in 2026?
Forecast show even more. And Chris Pratt will be voicing all your favorite animated characters by then. We know he's got Garfield and Mario. He's going to be doing what would be terrible. A beloved. He's going to voice all the Ninja Turtles in the new Ninja Turtle movie. Trying to
Mickey
think.
Mouse.
Mickey. He's going to be the new voice of Mickey Mouse. That's
Oh,
correct.
man.
Trying to think of.
Dan Castellaneta's retiring, and Chris Pratt's going to be Homer Simpson. I don't know
Yeah.
if you.
And
ever
Homer's
heard
new
of that?
catchphrase is going to be,
that
"I'm
from your
Homer
Spiders
Simpson
and your
all the
Flies?
time."
That's. I hope not, because they only deliver true stuff.
Right.
What else is a beloved voice that he could do?
But they're going to reboot Looney Tunes. He's going to be the
You're
voice
right.
of Bugs Bunny.
Yeah, they're doing that new Looney Tunes movie. Although who knows? Maybe they'll can that one as well, and
You
it'll
know what?
never release.
Can we start a movement? Can we start a movement? I don't care what is on HBO Max.
I'm starting a movement right now.
Sorry, Max. What's on Discovery Plus and Max? Let's all just cancel it. Let's all just cancel all of our streaming services. Save up something and cancel everything else.
Why am I canceling? I'll listen. I just want to know why I'm doing it.
Because they're just like, these companies are buying up other companies. They're not looking to create new content, and then when they do create it, they just get rid of it. Like they're throwing things away. They're removing things from the services, and they keep jacking up their prices. So like we're just buying into it, and letting them do whatever they want.
Yeah, they said, come over here, get away from your TV, because there's advertisements on the TV. There's no ads over here. Now, guess what?
Now
There's ads all over it.
Yeah. Now,
They caught us.
you don't want ads? Pay us more.
Pay us
Like
more
they
money.
keep changing the rules or whatever because
What
What
rules, you
rules?
sons of bitches?
they are the sons of bitches.
I mean,
Jordan.
yeah. I mean, if a streaming service,
By the way, Nintendo's going to start putting ads in the middle of your games, and they're going to charge you more if you don't want them. You okay with this?
I mean, I already do. Will I think back me up here? I already don't care about ads, so it doesn't matter.
Ugh.
but you're playing Tears of the Kingdom and you jump off an island and float down, and then all of a sudden it's like, buy these Hyrulean bass, and then you leave.
Yes, I would
Like,
be annoyed
that would
by that.
stink,
Yes.
right? Okay.
It would not be good. Yes. I'm not saying I would not play the game, but I am saying I'd be frustrated by it. Certainly.
Yeah, I'd be frustrated by that.
But yeah, like I have Hulu with ads. I don't care. I got Amazon with ads. I don't care. Like,
Yeah, but I mean, sometimes you can sit down and watch a 30-minute something, and it takes almost an hour because of all the extra ads. And it's like, this isn't what streaming is for. Like, streaming is for just getting to the meat and potatoes.
Well, I agree in the sense that if you are not getting what you want from a streaming service, or you feel you're paying too much, then you should cancel. Yes, I 100% agree. I'm not arguing that
And if
anybody
you feel
should
like
feel
you're
any
paying
different.
just the right amount, and then they jack up the prices even more,
Everybody's got
keep
their
on
level where
showing that
they're
around.
out. Yeah, like I
like
will.
the whole Disney thing. Their price went up yearly, so it's not a crazy amount when you're considering it for the year, but it went up $30 from one year to the next. That's a
But
big jump.
if you do the Hulu Disney Plus deal, it's $10. That's an ad deal, or that's an ad tier, but that's a good deal.
Okay, let's
No,
just let's just pay out everything. For
No,
what
you
we
don't
want.
have.
Like,
No. This isn't me saying you should do
why
it.
is
It's-
that a good
I'm-
deal still? Like it.
Hulu and Disney Plus for $10. That's a good deal.
That's better than $30 for
Yeah.
Disney Plus alone.
What other streaming
Well,
service
no,
is
but
$10?
it was $30 extra, is what I'm saying. Like, they were going from one year to the next. It was like
So even more.
$7 more for the next year, or $10 more. Oh, and from one year to the next, $30. Like,
Well,
it's a huge jump. And then they go, "Oh, we have to do it because of inflation." Meanwhile, we made billions more this year over last year. That's not inflation. That's just jacking up the prices because whatever. Like,
No, I'm. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying they
and
are
then
right
Discovery
for doing
Plus,
it. I agree.
Like, the whole Discovery system, and the guy that's running that show over there, like, he's making millions of dollars, and he's just canceling everything, and like removing things, and he's not the only person who's in charge of it. But then then they want to buy Paramount Plus. Well, now they don't have. There's even less that they need to make, because now they have all this extra content and all these other subscribers that are going to move over to that and pay even more money. And then, now we have all this extra content. Let's charge them more, and the prices keep jumping up and up and up and up. Like, I don't know.
So yeah, do what you said you need to do. If you're unhappy,
Great.
cancel.
So I'll be the only one not doing it, and everyone else keep paying. Like, that's
No,
the
no,
thing.
no,
We all
don't-
need to stand together.
No, you can't
Can't
tell
do that,
everybody.
Nicky Hill,
Yeah,
as a society, unfortunately.
you do what you feel is right for you. You can't tell
Well, I'm just
everybody
bringing
else.
it
You could be
up.
like,
Anybody
you know
else
where
wanna
you
do it?
can do that for the greater good?
With
In a
Kellogg's, right?
dang
Whoa.
union.
Well, anyway, we can't get a streaming union. Let's get away from that topic. Yeah, if you are unhappy, you can tell people this is why I'm unhappy and I'm bowing out. Then
Are
do
you
it.
done buying Kellogg stuff?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Which
Okay.
means no more Pop-Tarts.
Right. So you're gonna make those concessions or whatever to make a point to a company that's
I'm not. It's not about making a point to a company. They're
to
not
not
going to care
support
about me.
support a guy or a company whose president is
Well,
out of touch and things.
yeah, but my stance is like I'm doing it. Sure. Do I want to hurt their bottom line? Definitely. I need more people to do it. All I can say is here's what's going on. If you believe in this, do it. But I'm also doing it for my own peace of mind. I don't want to give my money towards that. Like I don't want.
But other people are doing that together, and it's
Yeah.
something of a movement.
Well, it hasn't started yet, so we'll see what happens.
But it's something of a movement. It's a thing.
I understand it's a movement online in the sense that people are like, we're going to do this. When
Right.
April 1st comes, we'll see what really happens. Because it was a movement with Netflix too. And you know what happened? They made 20 million more. So everything's a movement online, and when you can leave a
that's
comment.
what I'm saying, because there's people who are just like, well, you do what you want to do, but I'm just still going to be paying for
it's
stuff.
different.
But
It's
that's the
different.
thing. You
Watching.
can't. That's fine. If people aren't motivated to the
No,
point
and
where
I'm not
they
saying
don't
that, but
wanna
what I'm
do it.
saying is like, why can't we voice it and start it? Why can't we be the ones that start it?
Who you mean? Us here? at the
Sure.
table? Yeah, go ahead. Whatever you want. That's what I'm saying. Start it. But what I'm trying to say is, you are passionate about it. It means something to you, and you are uncomfortable with where things are now. If you don't want to participate and you want others to not participate, that's great. But you have to also be willing to understand there's going to be people who are like, I don't feel.
No,
that
I'm not
way.
going to force people to
Yeah.
do stuff that they don't want to do. But like,
but we're gonna keep getting railed by these companies
mean-
unless we stop subscribing.
So everybody's got to get to their own breaking point. Like for me, with Disney and Hulu and Netflix and Crunchyroll, like I'm fine with those. Those are cool. Like and Peacock, I'm okay with because
See,
I watch
I mean,
wrestling
I
all the time,
still-
and that's a great deal.
I still pay for
What on
Disney
Netflix? Is
Plus.
that not, or-
What?
Raw is going
Oh,
to
just
Netflix.
Raw.
I still
specifically.
pay for Disney Plus, but I don't like that. Like, was it Bob Iger who said, "Oh, well, let's just not pay these people," and like when they start to like foreclosing on their houses, then they'll turn around and come back to us. Like, I think that's worse than saying buy cereal for dinner. Like,
Well, and that's fine. You can not support either. Yeah, I'm not trying to argue that one is better than the other. What I'm trying to say is you got to not support what you don't want. You can certainly try and make it a movement, but it's got to be you can't go over the line of like, if we don't all do this, it's not going to work. You got to go to the line of I'm passionate about this. I'm going to do it. I'd love for you to join me, and then let people do what they're going to do. I would love for people to do the Kellogg's thing. We'll see what happens. I'm going to say nothing's going to happen because the plan was start April 1st. The world moves at an insane. People have forgotten about this thing already.
Yeah.
Like it's not going to happen. And more than enough people online will be like, yeah, fight the system, and then go to the supermarket and buy the stuff because it's just about virtue signaling online and then not actually doing anything. Like MomBrain and I haven't had
Well, I
anything
mean, that's what I was-
Starbucks in years because we don't want to support them, and we would love for more
Not
people
years.
a year.
Yeah.
We would love for more people to do that, but it's for people
and
to
what was
decide.
that for? Because of the way they were treating their employees.
Yeah.
Well,
Yes.
that and the whole Palestine business now. But yeah, I mean,
I didn't know that they were involved in that.
And then that's another thing. Like we could go down.
They've made their position.
I didn't hear it.
We could go down that whole rabbit hole of like. Long story short, every company sucks, and they're donating to something that you don't approve of.
Well, I
and
said
don't
that to
want.
you, yeah,
And
the TikTok
What are you
thing.
gonna
It's
What are you
like-
gonna do? But that's not. If that gets you to a point of
Well,
not
here's
doing
the
anything
thing.
about anything, you just have to personally decide. This is my line. I don't want to cross that line. I got to stop giving them my
Well,
money.
from now on, I'm going to be like a state representative of sorts, and I'm going to say that I'm canceling all my subscription services, and if anyone else
Max ad just came up
and if
right now.
anyone else wants to cancel, they should, if they want to. But then I'm going to keep mine, and I'm going to let everybody else cancel theirs.
My man.
Also, vote for me.
They like do interviews with you on news networks, and your TV's on in the background playing like Max or something.
Yeah.
No, don't look at that back there. So yeah, if you want to boycott,
Well, the trouble with me and boycotting Max is they had a deal where if you paid for the year, it was cheaper. So I did that. So now I'm in it for another 8 months.
You know what the solution is? Jason Bateman knows what the solution is. There's only
Tubi?
one. Yeah.
Hey, they changed their logo.
they did, and I just saw a commercial for a show that they have on Tubi, like an original show on Tubi, like
They've had
that they made that they made now for Tubi. It's not like somebody's handycam movie that we've seen. They had a commercial for a brand new show specifically made for Tubi,
Tubi's doing
and
it.
it's free
By the end of the year, they'll be like $15 for Tubi.
right.
for Tubi Plus, Tubi.
Tubi.
But
Do
yes,
I have
if you,
Tubi?
if you want to watch the Mario movie and you're okay with supporting Nintendo and Universal, then you'll be able to see the current movie on Peacock or Netflix or any other on-demand service. But the Mario movie 2 is coming out April 2026, and by then movie ticket prices will be $32. So start saving that. MartynStuff says, cool, I look forward to this. I really enjoyed the first one. Take in the fact that Illumination have a good working environment, and Chris Melodandri is very opposed to the use of AI replacing actors and staff. It sounds like everyone's a winner. Yeah, like I said, we don't know any details about this movie as far as what the story is or anything at all. We don't know anything, but we'll find out.
I'm going to go ahead and say right now, I sort of, with 100% certainty, I kind of think that there's going to be a minecart, like a Donkey Kong minecart scene in the new Mario movie.
Okay. I mean, they're building the park, so synergy.
Exactly. And then
Hmm.
there's the ride, and I feel like they're going to be like, you know what? yeah, that's a huge part of the game, but let's make it part of the movie, and then people can tie into that without having to play the game.
I think your prediction has a very high likelihood of coming true. We have Japan's top-selling games and hardware for February 2024. Don't worry, I won't make you guys guess since it's Japan. Starting with number 10, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Number 9, Jujutsu Kaisen Cursed Clash. Number 8, Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. Number 7, Momotaro Dentetsu World, the train game. Number 6, Shiren the Wanderer, the mystery dungeon of Serpent Coil Isle. Number,
That's exciting.
I love Shiren the Wanderer. Number 5, Persona 3 Reload. Number 4, Super Mario Brothers Wonder. Number 3, Grand Blue Fantasy Relink. Still very excited to try out that game. I don't know what happened, but this one just broke through. Maybe it was the demo that they put out, because I heard the demo was like phenomenal. But this sucker is selling, so good for them.
I think
Long-running
it's-
franchise.
I think people
it's
were
the
getting
name.
Yeah, they were getting confused. They saw the and they saw the fantasy, and they were like, "Oh, that's got to be the new Final Fantasy." I won't read the rest.
Yeah, right. Well,
Why I started on the second word, no one will know.
the whole story of the game is different from the original, so why not go with this one, I guess. Number 2 is Mario versus Donkey Kong, and number 3 is Persona 3 Reload. Over in Japan, for February 2024, the Switch was the number 1 selling system yet again, selling 191,000 units between all 3 versions of the platform. PS5 was number 2, selling 147,000 units. Crazy, crazy stuff. The Switch continues to kill it. Man, it's nuts. North America, what do we got this week? Let me tell you. Oh, that's right. I got music now.
Wait, what is this game? Like a Dragon.
It's
Like a
the
dragon.
Yakuza
Yeah,
games.
it's
It's a spin-off of the Yakuza games.
so nothing with Madonna.
Maybe in the soundtrack.
Oh man, did you see? I won't even talk about it. Never mind.
North America, here's what we got. Star Wars Battlefront Classic Collection. MLB The Show 24 comes out on the 19th. Kingdom Come Deliverance Royal Edition, which is a port done by Saber. The latest Impossible port on the Switch that really impressed Digital Foundry. And you know they're the toughest ones to impress. Death Trick Double Blind. Airport Link Connect Near Me. Arcade Archives Tank Battalion. Balloony. Want to hear something cool about Balloony? It's made by GoNintendo readers. This is their first game. They reached out to me. To tell me.
Congratulations.
Isn't that nuts?
How much
They
is
said
it?
They still read every single day. I don't know, but I got the press release in my email.
Too much money. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Baron of Blood. I love how I'm like, these guys go Nintendo.
I
Too
was
much
kidding.
money.
It was a joke. What was the
Uh,
game again?
Baron of
Balloony?
Blood.
Balloony.
Block Magic Puzzle. Bottle Cap. Capybara. Ducks.
That was a joke.
Rats and Bananas Bundle. Car X Highway Racing, a company that sent me their press release, I want to say 8 times. Corbid, a colorful adventure. Cozy
Corbett
Hamlets. Cube Jump Ultimate. Dog Racing. Lovely Pet Friend's Paw. Dreamland Solitaire. Dragon's Fury. Dungeon Drafters. English Tracing Book. Ease 2, the original, like the PC 801 version. Escape Game, The Abandoned Hospital. Fantastical Mystery Adventure Ultimate Jumbo Jet Murder Case. Finger Soccer League. Excuse me. Garden Life, A Cozy Simulator. Greed, The Mad Scientist. Guardians of Time, The Chronicles of Chronos. Guilt. Help Police, Pull the Pins. I don't know what that means. Highwater Getaway. No, Highway Getaway. Zigzag Blocky Car. Hot Rider Racing Simulator. Infantry Attack. Lawn Mowing Simulator. Lads Reel, The Demons Fall. Little Racers and Red Wings, American Aces. Lost Lands, Stories of the First Brotherhood. Master Maker 3D Ultimate. Match Village. Metal Lined. Monster Tribe. Orion Haste. Paint Rings. Pipe Connect. PJ Masks, Power Heroes, Mighty Alliance.
Ooh, next one's for you, Nicky Hill.
Pogo joins the circus.
Ooh, did you see Pogo when you went?
The world famous Pogo. Pool Blitz.
I guess not. He's not released yet till this
Power
week.
of 10. Rainbow Moon. Rainbow Moon and Rainbow Skies, if you want them both in one bundle. Rebel Transmute. Simple number-based color sense IQ test. Skyrunners Infinite. Parkour. Sniper Rescue. Sphinx Riddles of the Nile, not the Sphinx game from GameCube. The Crystals of Atlantis. The Veil Shadow of the Crown. Very excited to try that out. That is an audio-only game. I just talked to the company about it. Tiny Tales Heart of the Forest. Truck and Forklift Logistics Simulator.
Yeah.
Unables, Valiant Hearts The Collection, Wallpaper Wizard Infinite Backdrops, Warring Universe, and finally, Warrior Escape. Autumnal Blake says, this week of our Lord, I'll be checking out Highwater. It looks pretty cool. You know what, Autumnal? I feel exactly the same. Highwater has been a long time coming, and I think it looks like something special. Josh, could you introduce the man himself, please?
What are the next European masterpieces? Let's find out with Nicky's sweet releases.
Excellent job, as
Uh,
always.
I'm sorry in advance. It's a long list, but these are the games coming to Europe. The week of our Lord,
It moved.
or
I promise it
the
moved.
week of March 14th, the year of our Lord, 2024. Garden Life, Kingdom Come Deliverance, Royal Edition. Yo, what's going on with the royal family over in England, huh?
Oh, man. We went down that rabbit hole at dinner last night. I could tell you a whole bunch.
Ooh, can't wait.
Air trap. Yeah, we gotta get your spiders and flies over across the
He's
pond.
right. He's right.
Maybe I will. I wonder if the royal family is going to be making a video game anytime soon.
Oh,
I don't know.
I guess we'll find out.
That would be a weird tie-in to what we're talking about. Air traffic sim, airport dispatch simulator. Love me some Sims. Ancient weapon holly.
Ancient.
Around the world. Travel to Brazil, collector's edition. Bad Cat Sam simulator. What? Do you play as a cat? Do you play as Bad Cat Sam? And who is Bad Cat Sam? I need more.
We all want more.
It's coming to Europe too. Block magic puzzle. Bubble fresh fruits. These are all just words. I don't know what they mean. Buggy off-road racing. That one I understand. Car racing ice. Classic. Car X highway racing. Cat survivors.
That's us.
Is that like Vampire Survivors, but it's just hordes and hordes of cats coming after you?
I would buy that instantly.
Bad Cat Sam is also in that game. He's the boss, the main boss.
Contra, Operation Galuga. Okay, I know it's the island, but I'm still going to think that.
Agunga Galuga.
Cube Jump Ultimate, Cyber Trash Statics, Dark Days, Darkness and Flame, Date Journal, Death of a Wish, Death Trick, Double Blind, Dentist Billing. It's what I want to do with my time is just go through the bills. I really want to. I mean, you know what? I might have to look into that. Maybe I have a new career ahead of me.
It depends. Hopefully there's difficulty settings.
Got me. Dungeon Drafters. I feel like this comes out every week. Egg Console.
Egg Console is a series. Ease 2 is the game that is new this week.
Ease 2. No, but I feel like I've said this before.
Yes, you said Ease, the first game. This is Ease 2.
Yeah?
Egg Console, Mark II console, all that. That's every week, yes.
All right. Well, go to the GoNintendo and read the whole length of that one because it's a long one. This next one is Empires Shall Fall. Empty Shell. When Humpty Dumpty fell, he was nothing but an empty shell.
Wow.
English Tracing Book. Escape game. The Abandoned Hotel. Escape game. The Abandoned Hotel. Finger Soccer League. Gunsmith Workshop Simulator. Guilt with a Y. G-Y-L-T. Guilt. Help Police. Pull the pins. Well, this one I didn't need to see a list because I knew it was coming. Hentai Girls Naughty Gamer. High Water. What's that about?
No, double. What's it about?
Hi, kids.
What's
We're
double?
Home early.
Keep reading.
Oh, Lawn Mowing Simulator. Lawn Mowing Simulator.
I did not do the list this week.
Lazriel. The Demon's Fall. Llamasoft. The Jeff Minter story. Is Jeff Minter like...
Oh, Jay Mintz?
He's a notable game developer. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Monster Tribe. Neon On. Paint Rings. Paradiso series bundle. Passing by a tailwind journey. That sounds peaceful, huh? Pipe Connect. Is that a plumbing game? Who knows? Pogo joins the circus. Must be related to me because my family's in the circus. The old saying, when the circus is in town, we go. Right? Is that what we
That's
say?
what I heard.
That's it.
That's what I've heard. I've also heard another week, another circus.
Another week. Another
I've also
circus.
heard not my circus.
Not my monkeys, not my zoo.
Yep.
Good old Pogo. The stories I
I've
can
also
tell.
heard Andy Circus. Thank you.
Okay.
I've also heard Dumbo's Circus.
Oh.
Wow. What was the other one? Never mind.
Circus Maximus.
What was it? What was the show that had the Calliope? That was the name of the show or something, wasn't it?
Pinwheel.
The Calliope. What was the show with the Calliope or something? I feel like you would know. Zubilee's. It's not Zubilee Zoo. It
No,
was a
that
game.
wasn't Calliope Dumbo's Circus?
Oh, was it? Oh, you're right then. So Pogo, yeah, good stories, good times with Pogo. Let me tell you. Pool Blitz, pull the pin, ball physics puzzle. So we've got help police pull the pins, and then pull the pin ball physics puzzle. Listen, when you go to the eShop, you pay attention to what you're buying. These names, they're confusing. They're all sound the same.
They
Rebel-
all sound the same.
They'll all sound the same. Rebel Transmute. Simple number-based color sense IQ test. Sniper Rescue. Sphinx. Riddles of the Nile. Star Wars Battlefront Classic Collection. Stolen Realm. These games, they're available now. Or coming soon. Sushi Battle Rambunctiously. What? The Crystals of Atlantis. The Crystals of Atlantis. The Veil, Shadow of the Crown, Tiny Tales, Heart of the Forest, Toon Road, Race and Drift, Toon Road, Race and Drift, Toy Box Easter. Easter's coming around the corner. You're going to need a toy box for that Easter.
Did we give him like a State of the Union shot or something?
yeah,
What got him all pepped up?
Unables, 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 whatever. Just go check it out. Violet Wisteria, Wallpaper Wizard, Infinite Backdrops. They're infinite. Warhammer 40,000, DACA Squadron Flyboys Edition, Warring Universe, Crypt of the Necromancer Synchrony DLC. There's DLC for Crypt of the Necromancer Synchrony. And there's also a demo for No Man's Sky. If you're interested, check it out.
Nicky Hill?
There's a comment from Steister. And Steister says, Que sale, Nicky?
There you go. That's not all with the eShop, my friends, because if you are in Europe
But I've seen
and
everything.
you have a Switch Online subscription, you got a new free game trial, and it gets a big thumbs up from Deux, without a doubt, and millions around the world. Vampire Survivors is your free game trial. You can try it with Switch Online membership from the 14th until the 21st. So you have until the 21st to enjoy the full game. Play it as much as you want. If you decide to purchase the full game afterwards, you can get it at a 15% discount. So it's already a cheap game as it is. But play the game for free, or play the game at no additional cost through your Switch Online membership. Play the hell out of it until the 21st. Buy the full game for 15% off and continue to play it until you see and do everything you want to.
Congratulations.
Also, congratulations to TKO.
Yeah.
What happened?
About 9 months ago, they put in the work, and they got a little.
Baby?
They got a little addition today.
Oh.
Today,
Hot damn.
breaking
today.
news! Congratulations.
Little baby. Let me see. I'm
Seamus.
dropping in to show off a new member of the community. I'm thinking maybe of calling her TKJ. Oh, well, no comment there. She's
You didn't do that, or you'd have no baby.
Oh, she's celebrating a birthday today. I just wanted to share. I hope everyone's having a wonderful day. Congratulations, my friend. I hope you guide them through a life full of wonderful video games. Don't hide your Shabadoo. Don't make them play. I don't know what's a really bad game.
Night Trap. It's definitely
Pizza
don't let
history.
them play.
Pizza. Well, they're too young for Night Trap. No Night Trap right now. We'll say. But congratulations.
Congratulations to everyone, and well, you,
Oh, them,
your
everyone, not everyone.
partner,
Everyone.
and your child, and yeah, congratulations to your child for having great parents.
Imagine the things this child's gonna see.
Sticer says, now this is a great one for a trial. Speaking of Vampire Survivors, you can't play this for more than 5 minutes without getting hooked. I bet this will lead to a ton of sales. It's a great game to have a trial of. Yeah, I agree. So have at it. You got until the 21st in Europe.
Joe Shabadoo says, I hope TKO has been playing Parent Simulator. Diaper changing simulator. Come
That's
on,
right.
there's got to be a ton of them, right?
We're gonna skip the final top story, but we are doing this one. The World Video Game Hall of Fame has announced their 2024 nominees. Here are the games being considered for the Video Game Hall of Fame. 3 or 4 of these will be chosen as every year. The nominees are Asteroids, Elite,
My dad's got Asteroids.
Guitar Hero, Metroid, Myst, Neopets, Resident Evil, SimCity, Tokimeki Memorial, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, Ultima, and You Don't Know Jack. There you go. Now, what 4 do I think should be picked?
Myst.
Myst is a definite. Resident Evil is a definite. I'm going to say Tony Hawk is a definite.
SimCity is a big one.
And
though,
I'm
no?
struggling between Metroid or SimCity. Yeah.
SimCity, the original simulator.
Yeah, I think I might go SimCity. So Metroid does not make the cut for me, although it is a very important game. It's just I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I don't. Yeah, I don't know. That's a tough one, man. I really don't know. I don't think you could get rid of any of the ones I
Doesn't
said that
anyone care
put
what I
Metroid in.
think?
Sure. What do you think, Josh?
Call of Duty,
Call of
bro.
Duty, of course. Yeah, that's tough. I don't think this is the year for Metroid to make the cut. That's some very stiff competition. It's determined. They determine winners based on icon status, longevity, geographical reach, and influence. So, influence is there for Metroid. Reach is not there. Longevity is there, and icon status is iconic for Nintendo fans. So, when you look at something like Resident Evil, come on, it fits all of those. Tony Hawk is another one that fits.
Was there a game that had a female main character before Metroid?
I don't know. I'm going to say probably, but certainly Metroid put it on the map because it was a surprise at the end. What did I say? That subverted expectations. So,
but let's hear it for Guitar Hero though, for like coming out, hitting the market real hard and then flooding the market real fast and then dying off shortly after.
But I mean, it was, iconic. It had reach. All of it's there. It may not be popular now, although it lives on through Fortnite now. Basically, it's the same thing. It's more, what was the name of the other game? Rock Band. It's more Rock Band, but still.
Was Guitar Hero was Activision though, right? Or was that?
Yeah. D says hi. Said Metroid was my first NES game, not counting the Mario and Duck Hunt pack-in, so it gets my vote. I love Metroid. It means a lot to me personally, but I don't think it's the strongest in 2 out of the 4 categories. So sadly, I can't put it in with this year's nominees, but I'm not picking. They are picking. We'll find out in about a month from now what ones end up getting in there. But
what's Elite?
It's I don't know, some PC game. It's still around, but
because there's some games. I mean, I don't know all games, obviously, but there's some that I don't even know, like Neopets and
Neopets. I know, yeah.
Tokimeki Memorial, like.
See, that's very popular, but only in Japan. It's not really known here.
Do they still make Ultima games? I know they made a ton of them, but do they still make them, or is that over?
I don't know when the last one was.
Is it really? It was really subtitled Ultima, like Ultima.
I believe.
If you said it 3 times, you'd summon an Ultima.
Let's see when the latest Ultima game was. Latest release, Ultima Forever: The Quest for the Avatar in 2013. So it's been a while, been over a decade. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But I really like Resident Evil is a lock, I'd say. And everything. The next closest to a
if
log
it's
is Sim
not-
City for me.
If Mist does not
Miss,
get
yeah.
inducted or whatever, like that. Come on.
I say Miss deserves to be there. Yeah, I do. It's a tough list, everybody. But there you go.
Mist wasn't even like game system. It was PC initially or whatever. Like
It was Mac at first, only Mac.
Oh, really? So but
yeah, to go to
even
a friend's house to play it.
people who didn't have any consoles, I feel like everyone played that, never beat it. So I didn't play it well, I guess.
No, that's your clarifier, not mine.
Oh, I definitely didn't play that well. I honestly
You can't lose.
Sitting here right now, I don't even need to close my eyes to see the staticky face inside the book.
Don't want to fall asleep.
Yes, I was.
Well, I don't want to miss a thing.
Being blown away by those.
No, but like
it's
still like haunting because he's like talking and it's broken and you don't get the whole thing and he's staticking in and out, like cutting in and out, and like it was crazy. And I just remember so many. Like I don't know, it was a game I had and I didn't have consoles for a long time. So.
Yeah, that was a big deal.
So let it be known, Video Game Hall of Fame, I had it.
There you go.
That's reason enough.
MomBrain, what have you been playing?
Nothing.
Okay. Nicky Hill, what have you been playing?
Nothing. Wow. Kidding. It was a busy week. It's been a busy couple of weeks. Thank goodness. Happy for the biz. But some what the heck is that called? Solitaire. Sea House G's.
I remember now. Solitaire.
And last week I actually played Princess Peach Showtime. The demo for that. And I mean, I'm not loving it. I'm not sure it's necessarily like aimed towards me, but it's got my difficulty level dialed in,
I don't know, man. That cake decorating.
Oh, I blew it.
Yeah.
I blew that. But I also, the entire time I was playing that, I was like, wow, this is an entire level based on cakes and cake making and like matching things up or whatever. And I don't know if Raw Meat's going to like this because it's food related.
Well, did you hear me talk about it?
No.
That doesn't bother me because first off, it's a stage play. Second, it's not about like it's not a real world made of cakes and cookies. It's like you're making a giant cake or you're making a giant cookie or whatever.
Stretched my hip and you let one rip.
I think that was your hip.
So yes, it doesn't bother me. Not my favorite, but not as bad as Mario's food themed world.
So I was showing a young child the trailer for Princess Peach Showtime.
Were they a boy?
No.
Oh, okay, go on.
And she was like, "Oh, like I don't know all the names, but it was like Ninja Peach and
yes,
Kung Fu Peach,
Patissier Peach."
And then she gets to that, she goes, "Oh, that Peach."
Yeah, exactly. Yep. I would love to talk to Nintendo and be like, maybe Baker Peach we should go with here, not Patissier, but
No,
or
no,
pastry.
be technical. Let's make sure we're technically correct.
No. Because Baker isn't wrong, but you could call her Baker Peach for advertising, and then in the game be like, a baker is also known as, and then they explain it that way. Ease the child in first, and then hit them with the Patissier. You're gonna have people our age that don't even know what that is.
Well, what's weird is I heard that the French version of the game, she is called Baker Peach.
There you go.
Doesn't make any sense.
How do you say peach in French? You know that? Did I just say peach?
Peach?
Yeah, something. Maybe that's like Italian, right?
Is that it?
Sure.
Dude, what you been playing?
Oh boy. So Animal Crossing has my morning still. And ladies and gentlemen, apparently 5-star islands have a chance to spawn and grow a little something called the Lily of the Valley.
Oh, yeah.
Oh! So who's got 2 lilies of the valley?
Congratulations.
That's right.
You're running a tight ship over there.
Dug up all the gold roses that are coming up too, because there's tons. Put them all in my yard. I am way too fancy for everybody else on this island.
They know whose island it is.
They darn well know. So yeah, that's still doing my thing over there. Animal Crossing, New Horizons, Fortnite. The new season's fun.
Fortnite.
It's actually so much fun. I'm having so much fun that I've been playing a few games solo every day.
If you've been watching the Deux
just doing
Views
it.
channel, you've been seeing that Deux been doing that because
Yeah.
I'll get notifications and I'm like, this is not a game that he played with us.
Yeah, sometimes so I like to I play a little bit differently solo than I do with teams, which is it's liberating in a way. Not that the team holds me back at all, but it's just liberating to kind of like not like with my play style. I'm never thinking about anything, so I can just literally go in there and do whatever, and I try to apply some of the defensive maneuvers that I learned from watching RMC when I'm knocked, and it's a lot of fun. So having fun playing Fortnite as usual. We played Helldivers once this week. Helldivers is fun. It's just I don't know. It's all right. I feel like we've seen it all. It's fun to play with us, and it's still a fun game. But it's
Didn't
kind
you
of
say it's like it's just the same levels over and over again?
it
or
feels
something?
like that to me personally. There's not too much variety in what's happening there, but it's still fun. It's just like it's not as fun to play. Like gameplay's not as fun as like Fortnite, for instance. Not that they're the same game, but that's just me personally. Still, I'll still play it whenever, and I think we'll probably keep playing it every once in a while. And then, last but not least, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Still going through it. I feel pretty much the same that I felt last week. There's things that I really like about it, and most of those things have to do with just my history with the characters and with the music and with the game itself. I mean, it's not the story has not gotten any better moving forward. As far as like the dialogue and what they're doing with the story, I appreciate some. I was complaining last week that there's so many characters in the original and that they keep adding new characters. They brought back some old characters in this, and actually, the character Johnny is actually you might have seen him already in remake, maybe not yet, but
I'm terrible with names. Tell me about him.
he's just like a punk-looking red-haired guy, kind of goofy, like maybe like
Yes,
he's like a punk.
he's in like the slum town.
Yeah, he's like Tifa's old friend from the slums.
Yep.
But he's in the original, and he's like only in it for like a second. But like when he came in remake, I was like happy that it was like even though they made him like this goofball, it was like at least they took an old character and like if they're gonna flesh something out, make it that. So he came back in this, and it's at a part in the game when you do see him in the original, and I was like, oh, that's great. And they expanded what he does in that area a little bit. And even though I could have used, didn't need the expansion, it was nice that they took an existing character and were like, hey, let's do something with the character, and it makes sense that he's there and all that stuff. There's a couple little Easter eggs. I mean, again, the things that I like are all going to be Easter eggs or nostalgic elements, but there's
It's the season for Easter eggs.
there's a moment where coming up in the game that I was like, oh man, I hope that Barrett and Red 13 do what they do in the original, and they lo and behold did, and it's freaking hilarious and awesome. So like there's some things that I really really love about it. But again, it's all because of my history with the franchise, with this particular game. So I don't know. It is what it is. I'm still playing it. It's fine. Sometimes I'm into it more than other times. But it's a lot. Like it's a lot of open world stuff. I mean, I'm on the 3rd region right now, and I think there's at least 2 more regions, like huge things to just do, the same open world stuff, like go to the tower and climb the tower and then pick some sage and then fight some enemies, and it's all like the same kind of thing. So I don't know. It is what it is. I'm moving through. I do want to finish the game. Like I want to get through and see all the big set pieces. I want to see where they're going to cut the game before the 3rd.
I've heard the ending is wild.
Wild as in
I don't know. I didn't read because I don't want to ruin it. But
yeah.
I've heard it's wild.
Well, I mean, yeah, the ending of remake is wild because it's not.
Aerith kills Sephiroth, I believe, in this one.
Well, when I don't know. I doubt that's gonna happen. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's tough because how do you say you don't like a game when you've played 35 hours of it, So there's obviously something that I'm enjoying
Because
there.
that, like you
But
said, if this game wasn't tied to Final Fantasy VII in some way, you probably
That's
would have
ex-
stopped a long time
I
ago.
would have stopped a long time ago.
And I'm not knocking you at all, but the funny thing is like you're going through to see the things that you already know about from the first one. You're like, I can't wait to see the thing that I love from the first one, and then you see it, and you're like,
Well,
there it is.
there's something in particular that happened in this story beat in this game that is so stupid. It's so stupid. Can I say I don't know. Can I talk
it's
about
still
like
too early. The game's
it's
not. It's only a couple weeks old.
something so infuriating happens at the Junon Canon, and it's just you're like, why is this even a thing? Why would this character act like this? Why would these characters act like that? And you're just like, I don't know what they're doing. I have no idea what they're doing with this story. And the fact that everywhere I look, no one's criticizing this game at all. They'd like everybody loves the crap out of this, and which is fine. But like they don't have any criticisms about this storyline. I mean, I guess I feel like even if I didn't know the original storyline, I'd be like, what are these characters doing?
Yeah.
But I mean, again, I'm biased because I know the original so well.
That's what Radical Defect is saying now. Just how it's very interesting to think about because you say, I really do think you don't like some or most of it, but you like it enough and like Final Fantasy VII enough to keep going. Yeah, I think it's very interesting to think about. Yeah, but you are also right in the sense that I'm reading hard. I can't name a single negative thing that I've read about this game. I haven't played it. I'm sure I'll get around to it eventually. I really think the nostalgia blinders are on for people. It's just like this game has better graphics than the original. So when you see this location or this character, you're like, there they are. There's the thing. And you get the warm fuzzies and all the other stuff. You're like, well, why are they doing this? What's going on here? But then you're like, but ahead, we're going to get to see that other thing that I know from the original. So that's what pulls you through. You're like, there's more of the things I already know are coming. So,
well, that's what seems to be happening for me. Like whenever like a big story segment happens where you're playing, that'll go like I'll kind of eat that up quicker, and then it's like, oh, here's an open world to explore, and then it takes me like 2 days to just get through it to the next bit. But yeah, and another thing I talked briefly last week about it, but the relationship system is very frustrating because the only thing you have is like a smiley face or a frowny face, and when you interact with your characters, sometimes it'll give you like different like conversation trees, and you want to pick the one that they're gonna like because you want to you don't want to miss out on any cutscenes moving forward. So I pick whatever, and based on what you say, it'll say your relationship with Tifa has changed, but it won't tell you which way it changed. So you don't know if you made the right call or the wrong call. To be honest, going through right now, I haven't had many of the best answers, or at least doesn't seem like I have, but I've got like smiley faces, and I feel like it's just from talking to them.
Yeah.
I don't even you don't even know why why is it even there? I don't know.
Oreo Lemon says, I've heard the mini games are the best part. Are the mini games great?
Some of the mini games are really fun. But again, I don't know. There's like so many mini games in this.
Yeah.
It's like everywhere you stop, there's a mini game. And I don't really mind. Like the original has its little mini games as you go. The mini games are more in service of the story, like the snowboarding or the motorcycle riding or whatever. It's not really until you get to the Golden Saucer, which is like an amusement park in the game, where those games really shine. But in the Rebirth, it's like I just made it to this town, and it's like, oh, it's a vacation town. So there's a dating game and a shooting game and a soccer game, and it's just all like there's so many, and it's like I'm not even at the amusement park yet, and like this is like its own amusement park.
Yeah.
So not that any of that is bad per se, but it's not my Final Fantasy VII, and that's fine. I'm still going through it, but so. I really don't know what to say. The music continues to be stellar. The animation for petting the baby chocobos has actually gotten embellished. So like now that I'm at the third section of open world, instead of just patting them on the head, he'll grab their cheeks and go like this. It's amazing.
Boy.
So that some of this stuff they're knocking out of the park. But I've also I feel like there's less bosses in the game. Maybe I'm crazy. I feel like there were bosses like every 2 minutes in the original. There's like less recognizable enemies in this. Maybe I'm just not, picking up on their new designs, but like a lot of the enemies seem kind of, I don't know, not the same. Maybe I'm wrong there. Could be wrong. But so yeah, I don't know what to say. It seems like I'm complaining quite a bit. I've still put half of a week into this game hour-wise, but I don't know. We're gonna keep moving through, and hopefully I'll find out more about Barrett. We're gonna find out if Dine is gonna be just as great as he is in the original. Very excited to see that. I'm a little nervous as to how it's going to trump out, but we'll see. So thanks for listening. I know I talk ad nauseum about this stuff, but I do enjoy to speak about the games that I play.
You're playing it well?
I'm playing it quite well.
Great. I'm
Yeah.
happy for you.
I'm playing it well, and I'm having fun sometimes. So, RMC, what have you been playing, my friend?
Thanks for asking. I've been playing Fortnite, as I've said already enough today. Really enjoying the season, having fun. I am also playing Helldivers. This is the week where I come out and talk openly about Helldivers because I put in enough time with it. I personally find the game to be very boring. I am enjoying my time with friends playing it because I enjoy playing any game with friends.
Boring.
But this game is not doing it for me. It's the same mission structures over and over again. It's basically shoot every bug or shoot every robot while you walk over to this area and you push a button. That's pretty much it, right? Go here, push a button.
Unless Captain Lube gets there before you, then you're not even pushing the button.
Go there, push a button.
It's not
Here's a
fun.
question mark on the map where you walk over and you push a button.
If that,
there's
even,
nothing
like,
to this game.
Yeah,
It's
there's not much.
shoot everything.
This is a
And
sequel
that's
though,
it.
too, right?
Yeah. And that's it. That's it. It's so boring to me. It's unbelievably boring. Deux will, again, back me up here. I found something in the game I love, and I also found out that I can't play it on my version of the game. We went to Lube's ship. We've been going to my ship this whole time. We went to Lube's ship, and I saw that Lube's ship has a little mini game arcade machine. And it shows like a string of directional inputs, up, down, left, right, and you're timed, and you have to hit them as fast as you can, and you do like 6 or 7 to get through a stage, and then it happens again, but it's faster, and depending on how fast you make it through, you get more points. It's a high score game. I love it. Like, I loved it.
It's amazing.
And
It's
Lube-
amazing how much he loved it.
Why does he have it?
Let me tell you. So I was on Lube's ship, and I'm like, my ship doesn't have this, and he's like, yeah, it does. And I go, pretty sure it doesn't. I would have seen it. So we go back to my ship. It is there. It's not on because I bought the standard version of the game. So I get to look at the thing. It takes up space, but I can't use it. Lou bought the Super Cadet version or whatever it is, and he gets to play it.
How much more was that?
It's like $80 or something.
And
I
all
don't
he
know.
got was a
I-
mini game inside of it?
I got a fancy cape and helmet. I don't know.
In real life?
No.
That would be
Ooh.
awesome.
I'm sure he's making that right now. So I was like, great. The one thing I legitimately enjoy in this game, and I can't play it unless I'm on Lube's ship.
It was so funny because you know how RMC gets when he discovers something that he really loves, and like we would get back to Lube's ship, and he'd be on that machine before anything, and Lube would like set up a mission and go, and then it shows up on your screen like 30 seconds till launch, and when it showed up on my screen, I knew it was RMC was getting it too, and he was just like, I guess I'll do a mission with you guys, and like as soon as we'd get back to the ship, right on Lube's thing again, and like. It was so funny. And then I went over to play it because I'd never even heard of it before. Didn't know what I was doing, obviously, as usual. But RMC was right there watching. He's like, I wanted to see you do it. He was like so excited about this game. And I just loved his enthusiasm. And it was just so funny how much more exciting that was to him than the game. And when we were in he's not a complainer. But when we were in the game, he was being very quiet. And I was like, he's not having fun playing Helldivers anymore. I could just tell. And as soon as we'd get back to the ship, he'd be back on.
Well, this is what I'm honestly thinking. We go to do a mission, and I'm like, it's going to be like 20 minutes until I can play that arcade game again. And I'm like, we're all standing there. We're all shooting bugs, and they explode, and throw a grenade in the bug hole, or raise the flag that takes a minute and a half
go home
to
tonight and
raise,
throw a
and,
grenade in the bug hole.
you
if
know,
what
it's
I
all
mean.
the same thing. And then, it's all the same thing. It's the same thing over and over and over and over again. And it's like, here, let's drop on a planet that's gray and white and you shoot bugs. Let's drop on a planet that's yellow and brown and you shoot bugs.
But none of the planets really, other than the colors, they don't seem different at all. There's like
they all
no
got the
vegetation.
same holes with
It's-
the same crash ships with the same.
Yeah, might as well just be a crater planet.
Oh my god, it's driving me. It's the most boring, straightforward game I've played in a very long time. I don't mind a straightforward game if the mechanics are fun. You're just shooting. What are you doing? You're shooting the same things over and over again. That's it. Like that's all. That's literally all there is to it. The missions are superfluous. You just got to do them to be a success. And I just, it's sucking the life out of me. I am having fun with friends.
I do love that. That's like very much like a kid thing where like, spending all day at a family event. They don't want to be there. And they're like, I just want to go home and play my game. And then they get home and it's just like, hey, and it's like a cloud, like Mr. Simpson. And there you are. Like you go into the room.
Well,
and
as soon as you load back into the ship, I'm like, I don't know how much time Lube's going to spend customizing stuff. So I got to get in the time while I can. But this is so a game that Lube would love because it's busy work the game. It's like, here's a shiny object, go pick it up. Here's a shiny object, go pick it up. Here's a shiny object, go pick it up. Shoot. And then when you're done, you go on Wikipedia and read every single thing you could possibly find about every little thing in this game, which is great for him. But that's not what I do. I want to play the game and have the game be interesting to me.
You want to show me
And it's
something?
just-
What you do?
It's just, I don't know, man. I don't know. And then they're like, oh, but you can fight the robots. Okay, you shoot the robots, and it's the same thing. They don't have a bug hole they come out of. They come out of a factory, and you got to throw a grenade in the factory.
Oh my gosh!
hole.
Wait a second.
Like, this is the same thing.
You're just killing these worker aliens?
They're not. Well, I guess
I
the
don't
aliens.
want to
They
be
work in a
here.
factory and you just like clear
No,
out.
no. It's a factory that makes them.
I feel like, yeah, they're making
It's like a
that.
spawner.
But yeah, you're right. You think they
Hi,
would be?
Sticer.
You think they'd be like, these holes seem to be our weak point. Maybe we'll stop making open air holes, grenade
They
holes.
would have learned
for
from the
them.
Death Star or something, but I guess not. Yeah. So it is really not doing it for me.
And the variety of the missions is it's either nothing or transport
Nothing's
people.
right.
Yeah, or it's either nothing or transport people from one building to another. It's literally just building to building.
It is literally nothing or transport people. You're exactly right.
And when you're transporting people, which you think nothing would be the worst option. Nothing's better,
Yeah.
to be honest. But when you're when you're doing the transport missions, it's just so dumb. You open the door and 3 of them walk out. They all look exactly the same. They're all running like this, whatever this run is, that video game run over their shoulder. And then, and then they go on a set path and like, doesn't matter if there's like a million bad guys, they'll still be like, oh, this
They're
is the
not
path
stopping. Yeah.
And it's just so dumb. And it's like, why are we like, what is even this? What is even
Yeah.
this?
And you could at least make it like, don't make it humans, making something inanimate that's like on a track that you have to protect. Because then it would
If you're
make
gonna-
sense.
yeah,
like,
then that makes
here's
sense
a
at
little
least.
cargo track. Protect the little mine carts while they're on the track.
Something
But
like
instead,
that.
it's humans who are the dumbest you've ever seen and run the exact same route every time and don't stop no matter what's
And
in
they
their
never
way.
look ahead of themselves. They always look behind. them.
It's
They're
like a
always
weird-
running with their head to the
it's like
side.
a weird.
And they run up and over mountains that are impossible. And
It's crazy.
it's like
looking.
stuff you would see in like an N64 game. But
Yeah, well, that's what it feels like. You know,
the best part is
I mean,
here you
was
got to
that
do
their
it, and you got to
plan?
do it
And
like
just to be like
30
nostalgic?
times in a mission. It's like
Yeah.
packs of 3, send them out. And, so the one thing you do is, this is my favorite part of the whole game. By that, I mean, it's my least favorite. The point of the game is
So
shoot
you're
enemies.
not playing Helldivers well.
It's not going well for me. No, I'm feeling poorly.
well,
when I
that's
play.
another thing. One of his favorite things to do is to dive. If you double tap the crouch button, you dive, but it won't let you dive off of like anything higher than like a foot off the ground for some reason.
And you get
So-
hurt.
Yeah. So like he
My
tries
favorite
to.
thing. My favorite thing to do, and you're not allowed to do
He'll
it.
like run up to like a little boulder and like try to dive off it.
To,
and
to
it'll- and it's,
keep
like,
myself from
life will
going
go
insane,
down.
I'll find where Deux is, and I'll purposely run and dive in front of him. So like I like bounces along the ground in front of him to make myself laugh.
So we're like
'cause I'm in
diving
hell.
behind Lube as we follow him to the next objective.
Those are the
No, he
two.
loves it.
He's having so
That
much.
right
He'll
there-
play it
With
alone.
strangers.
He'll play it with strangers.
That right there is the name of the game, right? Helldivers.
what I said.
That's the whole point. Yeah.
I said the game is called Helldivers, and I can't dive. What the hell?
What
But,
the hell?
What was I gonna say? It's my favorite part, but by that
Does
I
Lube
mean it's
know
my
you feel
least
this
favorite
way?
part. I don't think he cares. What is it? What was I
But
gonna
have
say?
you told him you don't?
What was I
like
gonna say?
I don't know. I
It's
cut
my
you off. I'm
least favorite
sorry.
part, but oh god, it was right. Oh yes. So the one thing you have to do all the time is shoot stuff, so that you can call in things. And what can you call in? A sentry gun. And what does a sentry gun do? It shoots things for you.
Perfect.
So literally the only thing you're supposed to do now, I just bloop, throw out this thing and it does it. Then what? I just sit there and watch it do the thing for me. Why? Why bother? I don't understand it. I don't understand it. I think it's just a game, and people aren't wrong for enjoying it and having fun. I'm glad they are. It's not working for me. I think it's a game where people are just like, shoot things and they explode, and big explosions, the game. And people
And
are
it's
like,
a big
this is
hit right
great.
now.
It's like 8 million sold. Yeah. Doing really well.
But how
I'm
many-
not begrudging them for
8
doing well.
million
People, it's
sold, but how many
resonating
are
with people.
playing?
It's just I don't know. I don't know. It is I haven't felt about a game like this since what was that game on the GameCube with the guy who had the dog?
Odama.
You could send the dog out and he'd like attack guys.
Oh
for you.
yeah,
Dead to Rights?
Dead to Rights.
Dead to Rights. Dead to Rights was one of the only games I bought
Man,
where
had
I
a
was like,
ball with
I
Dead to Rights.
really want to return this game. I think I'm going to take it right back to GameStop.
That's such a shame. I don't know why, but at the time I remember having a ball with Dead to Rights. I know it's not that good of a game, but
I don't know how well it's. You know what? I
It
got to tell you, I
reminded-
probably would enjoy that more now than I am Helldivers.
probably.
Yikes.
But yeah, if I could play that mini game, I'd be in heaven. But not allowed to do it. Not allowed to do it. So I've been playing that. I also played Contra Operation Galuga. I did a review on the site this week, as you saw. I said it was a good to very good Contra, but it has some issues. There was a day one patch that came out on other systems. And the day one patch came out on Switch like a day and a half later. It wasn't a long wait. And I was eager to see if they did away with the lag issue in the jump. They did not. I have not played the game on other systems. I don't know if there's a demo on other systems. If there is, I want to try it because I want to see if that same delayed jump is there. Because everything else on Switch does not have that delay. So there's some kind of issue here. It's not a power thing. There's a bug or something. I don't know, some latency issue. Because aiming is exactly how it should be. And everything else you do works exactly right. But just jumping, it's like push, jump instead of like, it should happen instantaneously. You shouldn't be able to discern a difference between the two. But there's very much a beep.
Is your television set to game mode?
All that is taken care of. Yes, that was. I even double checked to make
I'm
sure.
out of ideas.
But it's not insurmountable by any means. I played the whole game and beat it that way. It's fine. It's just you do notice it, and I know for others it might be too much to overcome, and I completely understand that very much so, as MomBrain saw when I was playing Sonic
Oh yes.
Superstars at the demo event. But the game itself, very good. Level design is really fun. Boss design is top notch. The bosses, I think, are the best part of the game. They were really fun. They have bosses that return from classic Contra games, but you fight them in new ways. They have brand new bosses as well. Really inventive things.
You talk about your issues.
Huh?
It's just a new way to fight the bosses. Is you don't fight them. You just
You talk it out.
talk about your differences.
I
love it.
It's a good length campaign. You can do story mode or arcade mode. My very strong recommendation is do arcade mode because the story is not good by any means. I read the whole thing. Voice acting's good, but the story is very boring. It doesn't need to be. I don't need a
Now,
story in Contra game.
This is different than saying like the story in a Mario game stinks. Like if they gave you the option to skip the story in a Mario game, you wouldn't. And I know you wouldn't.
Yeah.
So what's the difference there? Is it because Operation Galuga is like going for like kind of a real story?
Well,
and
I
like-
didn't. Yeah, like they're doing something new here. Like they're trying to make like a Contra universe and give you. I really think it's like they're like gamers want story in a game now, so we got to give them a story. If they just hear there's only arcade mode, they're going to be like, I don't want to play arcade stuff. So, but yes, having experienced the story, I will tell you personally, I did not find anything of value in it other than the voice actors, which are good. But the story is it's like made up words speak to the max where like people are saying names of enemies and names of places and names of powers and names of abilities where there are sentences where like half the words in it, I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about anymore. But it's a very simple story. It's this guy's here and he's coming to take over the planet and aliens are coming in and we got to stop them. Like, it's go ahead and do the story mode if you want. But, you know, I think it's a little strange to have a Contra game slowed down by story. Like, I don't want to go halfway through a stage and then have a story scene. I don't want that from my
I
Contra.
agree with you. I mean, when
So
I first heard the
arcade-
title, I was like, "Who's Galuga?"
So arcade mode takes all
It's
that
all
out.
explained in the story.
And arcade mode is like traditional Contra, except you have a couple like cutscenes, as in like, you know, Bill will fly in on a helicopter and jump out, and then the stage goes, or like the boss comes crawling out of a cave and screams at you, and then there's no story. It's just how Contra used to be. So I like that. But yeah, I like the doubling up on weapons. So now you can get like, say you get spread. If you get another spread, you get spread 2. So it spreads more and the bullets are bigger. So I like every weapon does that. So there's a cool thing about that. Also, if you get a weapon you don't like, you can explode it for a screen shattering kill on everybody. Like all
that's great.
little enemies. So, you know, if you don't want laser, take it anyway and blow it up when
That's
you're in
great.
trouble. So that's
Great
a really
option.
cool
But
idea.
Then after you blow it up, you start from scratch again.
What do you mean? No, you hold 2. So you can
so
have
you
like
can
a double
choose which one to
spread
blow up.
and a laser,
Oh,
and you
that's
can
great.
switch between them. So that's great. You have a double jump, which is great. Everybody, you got like a dash move or a slide move to get out of trouble.
Homing
That's
spread?
great.
Homing spread?
There's no homing spread, but there is homing.
Okay.
So there's homing, laser, spread.
What happens?
It's
You
just
send
one bullet homes in.
Yeah, it's like a rocket, but there's a ton of them, like singular, but a lot shoot at it.
what does that do? It sends the enemies home.
To their grave, yeah, to where they came from.
Oh, I just imagine they don't really want to be there fighting either, and you send them home to be with their families. It's
You don't
nice.
have to imagine that, because if you watch the story, you know that's not the case. But again,
Oh.
I recommend not doing it. So yeah, people have a slide or a dive, but there's like 8 characters to pick from once you make your way through the game. I think there's more, but characters do different things. Like one character has less health, Opa, and they have a like a hook shot that they can shoot
Poopa.
straight up to climb up platforms. One guy is in like a robot suit and he can turn on thrusters to float for a little bit. So there's different mechanics of playing through stages, which certainly changes how you play. You can play traditional Contra mode as well if you want. If you don't want a health meter, you don't have to have a health meter. You can have one and done. That's it. You can do as it is, which is like Bill and Lance have a 3 health bar, so 3 hits. The new lady, one of the new women characters, has a 2 health bar, and she has a default charged gun. So every power up you get with her is completely different, but it's a charged shot, so it takes a second to load up. So it's interesting.
Sounds fun. Sounds like they kept the things that worked and added a few fun things that seemed good. And
so skip story, go straight to arcade. Mechanically speaking, a lot of fun. Still very difficult. I had to play through multiple stages multiple times because it is very challenging. But it's not a start from the beginning. They'll give you leeway. It'll be like start through a third or start 2/3 through, which I appreciate. That's nice. You don't have to play that way if you don't want to. It'll give you an option like restart at the beginning of the stage, restart at the checkpoint, restart. It's up to you. Whatever modes you want to mix and match, you can do. So that's
nice.
cool. And then what I was very surprised with was challenge mode, which is something I never would have thought to be interested in, but I spent way more time in challenge mode than I thought. So there's a perks menu where you can unlock perks, and it's like spend 500, I don't know what they are, tokens on longer double jump or more powerful weapons at default. You can turn these on and off, just like the wonders or just like the badges in Super Mario Brothers Wonder. It's that kind of thing.
So you won't be using them.
I did not use them, but there are ones that I want, like 5,000 tokens on a new soundtrack. And I'm like, oh, that's great. I want that. So that kind of stuff. And I was like, I guess I'll do challenge mode to get those, because you get stuff as you go through. You get the tokens or whatever they're called as you go through the arcade mode, or through story mode. But challenge is like, beat this challenge, get 100, beat this challenge, get 400. So I'm like, that'll add up quickly. And challenges are little portions of stages that you've already played in or completely redesigned areas, and they give you a challenge. So it's like, go through this whole area and don't get hit once, or go through this whole area and never fire a shot, or go through this area with no enemies and it's a platforming section. So
That's
it's like you just
right up your alley. It's like nothing's really changed. It's you making it happen, kind of.
well, nothing. Some of the levels are as they were in the game, but other ones are built specifically for this. So it's a brand new thing.
Oh, cool.
But and some of them are boss challenge. Take on this boss and beat him in 50 shots. Like your gun only has 50 shots and you got to take him out. So it's a whole bunch of little wrinkles that they did. And there's like 4 here, 5 here, 6 here. And they're all really fun. There's time attacks, so you got like 30 seconds to make it through a portion of a stage, and you got to string together however you can move quickly to get through. In certain stages, you'll go and you'll be like, there's no way in hell I'm going to be able to do this. And then you run routes and you're like, oh, maybe if I did this instead.
Very
And then you're
neon
like,
white.
yes, exactly. You eke it out with like 0.2 of a second left at the end, and you're like, this was awesome. You build like the perfect run as you go through. I spent, Jesus, I don't know, 4 hours doing that stuff, and I still haven't done them all because you're not going to complete them instantly. Some you will do first or second try, but others are going to take a lot of commitment, and it's fun. And I really liked it. I was like, man, I want them to do DLC where you just do more of this stuff. So I really enjoyed that. I was disappointed by the game's soundtrack overall because it's very orchestral, but it's MIDI orchestral. And it's just like, oh, it's the tunes you remember, but not quite like you want them to be. And I was like, it's not bad, but whatever. But then the game is like, here's a remixed Contra soundtrack where we take all the new songs in this game and remix them in an old style. And I was like, that's what I want right there. So I got that, and I'm like, oh, I wish I played the game through with this soundtrack because this is really good. And then the problem was I wanted that soundtrack, but I had to earn the credits to get it. And I was like, I don't want to hear this other soundtrack anymore. And it was like, spoiler alert, I did the Konami code, and the Konami code unlocks soundtracks for free. And it's like, play Contra with classic Castlevania songs. And I was like, well, all right, I guess so. So I played all of challenge, or all the time I spent in challenge mode.
Konami code, or you just did it by like?
I mean, it's a Contra game.
No, but you like
it's a Konami game. I was gonna try it. It's Way Forward. There's no way they're not gonna put it in there. And we did an interview with Way Forward where I asked them, "Is the Konami code in it?" And they're like, "Well, I don't know." But it was very obvious that they're like, "Yes, but we can't tell you what it does." But anyway, so I played challenge mode with classic Castlevania songs. So it's like Castlevania 1, 2, 3, the Castlevanias on the Game Boy. Like you get a random Castlevania song. You don't know what you're gonna get, but it's like not remixed or anything. It's how you heard it on the NES or the Game Boy or whatever. And I was like, this is perfect. I love this. It was like,
wait, so while you're playing this Contra,
it's weird playing Contra to Castlevania songs, but it worked. It was fun. So and again, it's on random, so you never know what Castlevania song you're gonna get. So it was interesting. And if you have there's a Konami Arcade Classics as well soundtrack. So whatever was part of Konami Arcade Classics on the Switch, all those classic arcade games, you get music from those games too. So like Gradius and whatever else is in there, you'll get those songs. So there's multiple soundtrack options. It's just unfortunate that you have to do things to unlock them because the one that is in the base game, it's not bad. It's just not my cup of tea. On Switch, there are a few technical issues. I don't know if they're on other platforms. Like I had a stage where a boss showed up half on screen, half off, and I had to fight him like halfway off the screen. I got it done. If I reset it, if I reloaded it, it was fine. I had like a portion where a cutscene was supposed to play, and the cutscene didn't play as it was supposed to. So it's just a long stretch of like me riding a bike where nothing was happening. And then the game was like, okay, the time is over now. The enemies are supposed to come back. So those need to be fixed up. They put out the day one patch. All that stuff could be fixed. I don't know. I haven't had the time to check that. I played the game without that patch because the patch wasn't out yet. So all my complaints could be moot at this point, minus the jumping one. So that is there. But it's on every system. So I did not have any frame rate issues that bothered me in the main campaign. There was nothing where the game got incredibly choppy or caused me any issues. There were certainly times when the frame rate dipped, but not bad by any means. In challenge mode, because they're throwing an ungodly amount of enemies at you in some of the challenges, it got a very choppy frame rate to the point where I was like, oh, this is pretty rough. that's probably not a problem on the other systems. So I would say if you're a really big Contra fan and you have a choice to get it elsewhere, I would go with another system because it's probably going to run better there overall. Especially when you're adding in a 4-player component. If you want to play 4-player local multiplayer, then, that's just 3 more people on screen with all the enemies. So that would be my suggestion, but I don't know. I don't know if it's more technically sound on other systems. I would just imagine it has to be. But again, we got the patch, so I honestly don't know. I'm just telling you based on what I played. But if you like classic Contra and you're looking for something new, I'd say Way Forward did a very good job here. If they clean up the issues that I talked about and they fix the jump thing, I'd say it'd easily be a top 3rd Contra game. Like it's very good and very fun.
So you're as we know, you're not a replayer, but you will replay arcade style games like you just talked about. Battletoads, classic. You'll always go back to that. Do you think this is a title you'd ever go back to?
I would, because I want to hear the soundtrack. That's my main motivator. Like, I want to get through and hear the different soundtracks. Plus, I would like to do it with friends. Like, I've never played a 4-player Contra game together. I think that would be fun. So I'm down for that.
Can you hurt each other?
No, cannot.
God, that would be so hard.
You'd be dead. Yeah, you couldn't make it through a level at all.
Can you throw each other down pits or anything like the Mario titles?
No.
It's really hard to play together.
You don't interfere with the other person at all. The only things that could happen is like, you go on a bridge that's got a bomb and it explodes and your friend's standing on it and they fall into the same hole.
Or what happens almost every time, they get the power up that you needed by mistake. That happens all the time.
That Contra hallmark is still there, where it's like, you got everything you want and they place a laser exactly where it doesn't need to be and you're going to get it and you don't want to. And you're like, son of a bitch. But at least this time, like I said, you can explode them. Tell you the truth, laser's not that bad. Laser's not that bad in this game, because old laser in Contra used to be, you couldn't just hit the button really quickly because the laser would come out, but then a new laser would start out of your gun again. That's not what it is here. Lasers shoot all over. So laser, cool. I didn't mind. Cold missile, whatever it is, that stupid one I bring back. I don't know why that's always in these games. That still sucks.
Cold missile.
It's like the blue one that's not heat seeking. It's just straightforward missile. It's, if you double it up, it's powerful. But outside of that, I don't care. You know me, because I'm a weirdo. I don't want the heat seeking missile because I want to play the game. But spread is great, and machine gun's great, and your regular gun is fine, and all the fire is like more like a flamethrower now instead of the circle flames. So it doesn't have a huge reach, but it's powerful, so it's not horrendous. You get if you double up on that, the fire reaches like the whole screen, so that's pretty good. So better weapon-wise than most Contras, because the stuff that used to be really bad is tolerable, minus the rocket for me. But outside of that, so yeah, it's a good Contra game. Play the demo, and if you like the demo, go arcade mode. That's my suggestion. Good stuff. Then the only other thing I played was Final Fantasy VII Remake. I'm about 6 or 7 hours into it now, I guess. They sure remade that Final Fantasy VII, didn't they? I wrote myself a note for something that bothered me so much. So I got to the part where you go with Jessie. You go with Jessie, and she's like, you got to go steal the Shinra card out of my dad's jacket pocket, and he's in bed, and he's dying because Shinra screwed him up. And here's the plan. Me and, I don't know, the other two guys, whatever their names are.
Biggs and Wedge.
They're going to go in here, and we're going to have my mom make pizza. And you're going to sneak in the back door and get the key card.
It's like, this is how good this game is. I don't remember. I played this game and beat it. I don't remember any of this. It's all out of my memory because it's just so bad.
And I think to myself, she's like, Cloud, I'll give you the signal, and then you're going to go into the back door. Make sure after that you go in the door on the right. My dad will be there, and you go get the Shinra card. Don't worry. Make as much noise as you want because my mom's not going to hear you. And I'm like, that's weird and also stupid, but whatever. And then to myself, I'm like, here's a better idea, Jesse. It's your house. Go see your dad and get the thing out of his jacket. But she's like, Cloud, you got to do it because I just can't. And I guess she's saying, I just can't because my dad is sick in bed and I don't want to see him. Lame, but okay. I'll accept that as a reason. What do they not do here? Jesse's mom thinks she's an actress or whatever.
Got it going on.
A performer. Do you think maybe these people would change their clothing when they went in instead of all wearing armor? Apparently not. And nobody questions it. Jesse's mom is like, how's acting, Jesse? Or whatever, as they're wearing like plated armor. And the guy's got clips on his arms and a gun on his back. And
Right.
nobody, so stupid. No one thought of this? Nobody was like, maybe we should bring a change of clothes so my mom doesn't suspect that. But I guess Jesse's right because her mom's an idiot, clearly.
Yeah, that really is annoying, especially because Cloud, he's wearing a very specific uniform that anyone in that world would know. It's supposed to be like, like a huge best of the best type uniform, and every single like citizen in that world knows it. And in the original game, many people who see him will comment on his eyes or his outfit, because those are two things that relate him to being a soldier in this world. And at least they talk about it because that makes sense to talk about in the original game. But here, like you said, you walk into somebody's house and they're just like, oh, how's acting? Like, yeah, we're putting on a play with about soldiers.
I thought for sure they were going to change clothes before they went in because this is supposed to be a whole covert mission. I'm like, nope, they're not. They're not doing it. And the whole thing of like, make as much noise as you want. My mom's not going to hear you. My favorite part of that being, that's stupid no matter what. But my favorite part of it being stupid is when you're going around snooping in Jesse's dad's room, you hear their whole conversation. I'm like, if I can hear you guys talking in the room next door, she can clearly hear me in here, but whatever.
I don't remember that at all, RMC. I really can't.
So that basically the whole last stretch I played was nothing but like, who wrote this? Who decided this? The whole motorcycle chase with this guy on the motorcycle screaming and flipping.
He's the worst. He's in the second one too. They love that guy. Wait. I mean, don't play it anymore. I don't want to even play the first one, but like, don't play the second one because in this, oh my God, I don't even want to talk about it. Obviously it'd be a spoiler if I talked about it, but they shoehorn him in at the worst time. It's so stupid, and then I can't.
I can't. So you do that whole thing where you're like, it's like motorcycle foo, where this guy's like flipping through the air on the motorcycle and slashing at you, and like I'm the best, he's the best, whatever. And Cloud like slashes his bike at some point, and the guy's like, I'll see you again, friend, and whatever. Then you go to sneak into the Shinra place, and he shows up there too, and he fights you in the middle of you fighting everybody else, where I guess I need it explained to me. You're there fighting the mechs or whatever they are at the Shinra place in the big lot, and you got the Shinra soldiers that are out there fighting you. This guy shows up on a motorcycle, and all the Shinra guys are like, hold on, these two got beef to settle, and they just all stand back and watch you fight this motorcycle man.
It's not a great explanation. The only explanation I have is Cloud, they see his outfit and assume he's soldier, which is the highest of the soldiers, and this guy Roach is a soldier 3rd class, so they're like, oh, they're both soldiers, let them duke it out. That's what I'm guessing. But
I'll take any explanation.
Either way, it's silly. And there's enough, the Turks, they're bad guys in this. They're like a kind of an FBI for the Shinra Corporation. There's like 4 or 5 or 6 of those characters. They're all pretty good in the original game, and they're bad guys. Why don't you flesh one of them out and have them be the Roach guy? Like, you added a whole new character in there when they didn't even need it, and now I don't know.
Which is the heavier guy, Wedge?
Wedge, yeah.
I don't remember. In the original game, is there a thing about his butt getting hurt?
Yeah, maybe
there's a little piece of something, right?
He's like a goofball. He's a bumbling guy. So
like when this happened in this game, I was like, I'm pretty sure this is like a very quick thing in the original game. But here they turn it into like a whole thing, like my butt, pull my pants down. We're all gonna stare at his ass. Jesse's gonna smack his butt and be like, that's just a bruise. And then he's gonna continue to talk about his butt, and then let's parachute out of here, and oh, careful my butt. And I'm like, there wasn't this much in the original game.
I don't remember the butt specifically, but he was the butt of the joke. Yes. He was the bumbling character.
And also that parachute scene where the game basically transforms into like the cheesiest 80s movie you've ever seen, with like the rock guitar and like, I don't understand it. I'm at a loss. I don't understand how people who love the original, I'm not saying they're wrong. I'm saying I don't understand it. I don't understand how you play this and you're like, oh my God, they've really done it justice here. Because I played this and I'm like, this is like someone who never played the original. Like if this was say Final Fantasy VII was a movie and somebody or a book and somebody came in and made the movie, you'd be like, did you read the book? What
Right.
did you do here? Like the Avatar people who like the cartoon watch the Netflix one, and a lot of them are like, what's going on here? And for Final Fantasy VII, the game, to be remade as this, I don't understand why people aren't like, you butchered my boy. Like what? I can't.
My boy.
I don't understand it.
I think about you often when I play RMC because every time something stupid happens, I think about you just being like, don't you remember your favorite part of Final Fantasy VII when this stupid thing happened? Like, and
That's
it was
what I
just
was
like,
thinking while this guy's riding this motorcycle flying overhead, and I'm like, I don't get it, man. I don't get it. Like when you're going in for, I was gonna start writing notes for everything, but I wrote the note about the Jesse thing, and then it just never stopped. And I was like, I'm not gonna be that guy. I'm not gonna make a whole list. But the Jesse thing, it's like she's like, I'll give you the signal when you're supposed to sneak in. And Cloud's like standing outside the house, leaning up against the wall, and there's 4 cats there, all looking at Cloud. And like one jumps over the wall, and the other 3 jump over the wall, and they all look back at you and meow. And I'm like, is that the signal? And then like the lights flicker on and off, and Cloud's like, oh, that's the signal. So I'm like, what's going on with the cats? Why were we watching the cats? Like, why did we have a cutscene about the cats? And I'm like, maybe they'll explain it later.
Because people love
Still
cats.
waiting. I'm still waiting. Well, Wedge loves cats because he stops to talk to them all the time, but he wasn't
No,
there
but
for
the
this.
People playing it love cats. All right. I mean, we love cats.
I get it.
A moment
And
of
there's
zen
a time,
for you.
to be fair, the game has had a lot of cat moments already because you go around on a side mission to find cats, and then Wedge stops to talk to a cat, and then you also watch cats walk along a wall. Is there something about cats I'm missing here?
I don't know.
Cat Sith?
Cat she or whatever they say.
So yes, I don't know. When the game is not, I don't know. I don't know what to say. When the game is not, I don't know what to say. It's like when the game's not doing things, it's okay.
It's not fun.
But it's doing things all the time. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, it's
I don't
rough.
know. I've never felt more disconnected from how people feel than what I am feeling with Final Fantasy VII. And I was there day and date with the original. I'm like, what am I not getting that I'm giving everybody the benefit of doubt saying like, these people also played Final Fantasy VII when it originally came out and they loved it. And they are loving this one as well. What's going on? Why am I not getting that? And I don't think I'm being overly picky, and I don't think I'm being like I'm not looking for things to be upset about. It's a nonstop stream of things that make me upset. And it might be because I hold the original so near and dear, but I would counterpoint that and say, maybe if it was of a higher quality, I wouldn't have these nitpicks that I don't know, but we soldier on.
Well, you didn't, you played the Resident Evil 2 remake and you didn't have nitpicks. It wasn't your thing, but you didn't really have like a lot of nitpicks, and you could see playing it how they got there from the original game. At least.
Yeah, I had like one complaint about the guy in the police station, how they changed stuff up there. But outside of that, I was like, it's fine. It's whatever. Not my favorite, but that is for me leagues beyond Final Fantasy VII. You're exactly right. That makes me feel better.
You play that and you'd be like, oh, okay, whoever made this like played the original and they know why it was popular. Whereas this is kind of like did they read the cliff notes and then discard the cliff notes?
That makes me feel a lot better because Resident Evil 2 wasn't for me, but it wasn't. I believe I gave it a 7. Like I know it's not a bad game. It didn't do anything so horribly offensive that I was like, how are people into this? Yeah, that one I get. You're right. Final Fantasy VII for me, I'm not. I don't know, but like I said, we soldier on. We've parachuted from our mission, and that whole scene was something else. And I'm going wherever we go next. I don't know. That's right. No, I went past that because it's like this little thing annoyed me. This is being petty, but this little thing annoyed me. what's the other guy? Not Wedge, the other guy.
Biggs.
He's like, oh no, it is Wedge. Wedge is like, go to Jesse's house because she wanted to talk to you after the mission because she's going to give you the materia. And I'm like, all right. So I go right to Jesse's house. And Wedge is like, don't go at Jesse's house. They're all there right now. I'm like, this asshole just told me to go see Jesse. I'm like, all right, let me go talk to Jesse. So Wedge has got to be like, here's my house. And then I can go see. I'm like, all right, fine. So I go talk to Jesse and she gives you the materia and then whatever. The ghost things swirl around and go nuts on everybody. And that's where I ended. So
Yeah.
So that's it. That's it.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy VII, baby. I'm doing it. So yeah, I'm like 6 or 7 hours in, and I'm seeing it through all the way to the end this time. At this point, it's shifted from maybe I'll like it to I have a very strong morbid curiosity of where it's going to go from here. So I want to see, but it's probably going to it's going to take me like another 30 hours or so.
Well,
40
I don't
hours.
know if you remember Wall Market from the original game, but that
I do.
section is probably, I don't think you played that part yet, but
no.
That section I thought was fun and faithful, and there's some funny things, and they add a new character. They have a couple of classic characters with this new character, and like there were some funny bits that I remember enjoying with
I am open to it.
But yeah, I mean we'll see.
Music's still great. So that's what I played. Let's do some questions. Send your questions to GoNintendo@gmail.com.
Where?
Oh no. GoNintendo@gmail.com. They can be about Nintendo video games in general, or whatever the hell you want. What's up? Question. I try not to read the questions. I try to copy paste them, but I did read this one before, and it's such a great question. This is from GekkouKitsune. Love this question.
Mm-hmm.
How many unread emails do you currently have? At this moment in my inbox, I have 21,288. I better get started. Those AliExpress greatest hits won't read themselves. If someone at the table does not want to share this answer, you don't have to. But how many unread emails do you have in your inbox?
I can't see on my phone. It just says 99 plus.
So that's the icon badge. But if you go into your inbox, what does it say?
Doesn't say.
I have
What do you
158.
use for email?
Gmail. What do
You're using a Gmail app. It should say somewhere. I don't use the app.
I mean,
use the browser.
it's over 500 there. I have a different email address that I don't use, that I use for like signing up for things or whatever.
Yeah.
That's got thousands.
Oh, that's fine. That's separate.
And these are on your phone?
It's Gmail, so it's not stored
Well,
locally.
this is for all of you. Like, because I
don't-
only have 3 right now because they just came in. I delete them immediately. I can't have any unread emails.
What do you got, MomBrain? I don't
I
want to.
had 158.
Okay. go
So
ahead.
so you're just getting junk mail and not deleting them? Is that what's happening?
Well, for me, some of that, I don't check my personal email often. I'm on my work email all the time. Like I leave at the end of the day with no unread, and then I start the day and whatever. But I try to end my day with 0 unread. My personal email I check like on weekends. So
it's not on your phone all the time in your face with here's a message.
no, I've turned notifications off.
I don't
for
have
email.
my email. I'm not logged in on an email client or app on my phone. No, I go through a browser to go to my email. But I am like you. I'm always zeroed out. I don't have any unread. But I'm running a business. I'm not going to skip things. If there's trash, I'll get rid of it right away. I check my spam multiple times because good things go in there sometimes, like penis pills and all that. But I'm always at 0 when I end the workday. Because I need to be. But I've like being in the industry. I've been to a lot of press events where you get to know people. You see phones, and you'll see like I've seen icons that are like 46,500, and I'm like. And it's PR people. So I'm like, now I know why my emails don't get answered because you're just letting them hang. Hey, you do you, but I'm reading your emails.
Yeah, that would drive me crazy. That would drive me absolutely insane.
I try to do my just like notifications in general on my phone. I try to keep them zeroed out, but I can't because like YouTube for work, I have subscriptions all the time. So until I go in to do my next round of work, the subscriptions are there and then it'll go. But like between Threads and Twitter, because I'm following so many accounts for work, there's no way I can have those on 0. So there's always like badges there, which is annoying. But email 0. So there you go. We're all not too bad, I would say. We're pretty
I now
good.
have 21.
I have over 500.
21.
If you don't remember me saying that, so that's pretty.
Yeah,
bad.
that's
It's to be expected.
that's a
for
decent
me,
amount, but it's not
where-
too bad.
Where it's stuff where I'm like, oh, this is important. I want to save this and get to it later, and then I never do, which is
Yeah.
like everything for me. So
That's why for like things I want to watch or play or read, I opened up a Google Doc and I have that app on my phone. It's like so it's always there.
let's do this real fast. 1, 2. Or
Buckle my shoe.
you
Get
keep
your little
talking
bar
because
here.
this is going to take a minute.
Okay. We also have a Patreon question. MomBrain, did you know that you could join the GoNintendo Patreon
For $1.
for $1? MartynStuff did, and they asked who would win in a fight, Kratos or a Cuckoo from the Zelda series. Great question. Could you definitively say that a Cuckoo couldn't win?
No.
Well, I don't think a cuckoo can be killed.
Yeah, and
Can
I
Kratos
would
be
argue.
killed?
I guess we haven't seen that Kratos can be killed, but we haven't seen that he can't be killed. We know that cuckoos can't be killed, right?
Now, is the cuckoo going to be allowed to bring in his buddies? Like
They work like a
do?
cuckoo does. So if Kratos hits him a few times, the backup's coming. Yeah. So
Then Kratos can call in boy.
still, I think the cuckoo's got it. It's gonna be a really long time, but I think the cuckoo's got it. I think if at some point they will wear down or overwhelm Kratos. So.
And do you think the cuckoo will wear Kratos's head around its
Yes.
back like a backpack?
Yes.
Definitely,
All right.
definitely. That's the one part I'm sure of. Nicky,
I have 42
we
open
go.
tabs in my Safari.
you can
running like a top.
live the life you want.
Here's the
But
thing.
I will say,
if I put
I'm
it into
disgusted.
if I put it into bookmarks or a reading list to go back to later, my brain forgets that it's even there, and I never get to it.
I would
so
like to
I-
ask how often
I
you actually
save
do
it-
go back to the open tabs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because if it's not right in front of my face, I forget about it. But then I'll go through my tabs every once in a while and be like, oh my gosh, I still have this, and then I'll look at this in a little while, and then I forget about it again.
You know, you can set up like a Google Doc with an alert. So like every 3 days you'll get alerted and be like, hey, check this out. Don't forget.
Sure. And then I'll go, you know what? I'll get back to it later.
Check it
And then I'll
out.
forget
But
about it
still
again.
like a fresh reminder. Or you could leave 41 tabs open, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Man, that you're killing your battery life and your phone.
My battery life is doing just fine, thank you. And actually, there's some of them that I go back to regularly, so I leave them open. I keep going back to them, and that's not even a joke. I'm not trying to like
No, I know.
explain it.
If it works for you, then
There's
it works.
there's work search things that I just go back to multiple times a day, and that's what
Work
they're always.
search.
It's not a way to do things. It's a way to do things.
But you're disgusted.
I am disgusted, yes, just because I think about battery life and slowing your phone down. But if it works for you, it works for you.
Running like a top.
Yeah, speaking of that, I got to get a new phone. I just saw that Verizon has a deal of literally trading any iPhone. And they don't mean any, but it's like iPhone 7 up to now. And they'll give you the iPhone 15. So I was
Nice.
like,
Take
I
advantage
think I
of
gotta
that
do it.
finally.
What I got to do is make sure
AT&T has
I
that
get.
too. But
I want to write down all my login information because I don't use cloud, and they'll be able to transfer some stuff, but I know some's not going to work, like Google Authenticator and stuff like that. I need to write down, but yeah, I got to pull the trigger. It's too big.
Do
of a
it, baby.
deal.
Do it.
AT&T has that too, but I can't trade it in because when you sign up for phone and there's not a trade-in option, and they're like, oh, well, you can get, and then like they charge you, and it's like, well, what if I pay off the phone expense sooner? They're like, well, you can do that, but then when you trade it in, like you don't get anything, like you don't get any trade-in deals, or like they basically trap you into paying for it over time so that like you can't
Yeah.
just get out of that, and then you can't just re-up when you want because the whole thing.
Going back to
Your
phones,
phone's
It used to
old
be.
now.
It used to be that like you could pay for it now, but when you trade in, like you'll transfer that
Yeah.
expense or whatever, And it's like, no, if you trade in, you're just going to pay for a whole new phone, brand new. Like,
Is your phone old? Your phone's not that old.
I
is
don't
it?
think it is that old.
It's a
You just got
14.
you
Yeah.
got a new one when you went to Italy, right?
Yeah.
Tony, you're in good company. Tony De La Mancha says, don't ask me. I'm at 200 plus.
Wow.
And Radical Defect says, I always have a single tab open on my PC with my gaming habit stock that I track beaten stuff with. On my desktop, I always have 3 tabs open. I have GoNintendo, Twitter, and Threads, because those are the ones I always use all the time. And then like the one that's almost always there is email, but I'm not going to leave that open.
I saw a TikTok where they talked about like ADD brain or whatever, and they're like just talking about the refrigerator. They're like, don't put things in the produce tray. Like,
Right. 'cause
if you
don't
put it in
remember
there,
it's
you're gonna go for something, and it's gonna just be a moldy something that has no actual like. You won't be able to even recognize what it is. So anything that you like that has an expiration date, put it out in the open so that you can see what it is when you need, like, you know,
What I
and
do.
get to it beforehand. If there's something like something else that like you always go for, like, you know, that you will use regularly, you put that in those trays so that, because even if you don't see them, you know you're going to the refrigerator for that item.
Well,
It's the same
I
thing
don't
with
have that
tabs.
problem because I think about food all the time, all day long. So I'm always chronicling in my head
I'm
what
not
I need to eat.
saying it about food. I'm relating it to this other thing. And you also don't have that problem because your brain doesn't work that way.
Oh, my brain's weird in some ways,
music.
but we all are.
Gifted in many other ways.
Send your music to goninpod@gmail.com.
Where?
Goninpod@gmail.com.
Maybe I
Please put
will.
music in the title. How about your local MomBrain?
Help.
Let's do it.
Okay, let's. Here we go. The very, very,
Very.
first song we have this week comes from Guy Bones.
Tropico.
No.
I got nothing. I don't know anything about it at all. I got nothing.
It's on Switch.
I don't know. Do you think
For
we
the
should
Steve
know this?
Showtime.
I don't.
I really got no guess at all, so I guess we'll go nothing.
It is Game Advance Wars 1 and 2 Reboot Camp on the Switch.
It is Advance Wars, you're saying?
Yes, I'm sorry. Advance Wars 1 and 2 Reboot Camp.
Well, yeah, as I said in the past, I did not review that game because I absolutely suck at those games. I tried and I failed. Gave it to somebody else.
And it was from Guy
Tried and I
Bones.
failed.
This one comes from Akumaju.
I definitely know this.
I feel like I know this too.
I'm pretty sure you
What system?
do. On the Wii Urine, according to Akumaju.
Super Mario? No. It's not Super Mario, right?
It's not.
Is it first party?
Nintendo Land.
No.
Wii U Sports.
No.
It's is it a holiday themed level?
Yes.
Animal Crossing.
No.
Jesus Christ.
Nope.
Well, let's do them all. Yoshi,
No.
Kirby,
No.
Pokemon,
No.
Mario,
No.
Zelda,
Metroid.
No.
Mario Party.
You said it's not Nintendo Life.
What about sports?
Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games.
No.
Not bad.
At the North Pole.
Winter Olympics.
Pilot Wings.
No.
Have we played this?
Smash
You've
Brothers.
experienced it. Sure. No.
Franchise? Now I'm extra confused. First party?
Yep.
First party, not franchise. Oh boy, we should get this right away then. It's got to be a real oddity.
Wii U music.
Nope.
It doesn't exist.
The Pikmin something?
Nope.
No, Pikmin's a franchise. Franchises, are there multiple installments? Does this brand exist before this game?
It's not a brand. It's not
An
Elements.
intellectual property.
no.
Is it like a channel or menu?
First party.
Oh, there you go.
Wii U menu?
I don't even remember what was on Wii U as far as that stuff went.
I don't remember what the interface looked like.
Plaza.
Was that the Plaza?
Miiverse.
No.
Oh, I thought I had it there. All right, we don't know that.
I don't know.
It's the eShop.
Oh, it's during the holiday season.
That's
They
correct.
always change songs on the eShop. That's a tough one.
They did?
Correct.
Yeah, had different songs all the time.
Man, what a bummer they don't do that now.
Yeah, we went from songs all the time to no songs.
All right. This one comes from Jess I.
Well, the eShop can hardly load now.
Told you what to do. Open the eShop, wait 3 seconds. You're golden. That's it. I do it all the time.
My system's slower. Must be all the windows I have
What's
open.
the alternative to waiting 3 seconds? Why wouldn't he wait 3 seconds?
I can. I've
If
waited
the eShop
longer.
loads and you go right in, then it's gonna chug. If you let the eShop load and wait 3 seconds, then it will move normally.
Can you guess the song?
I mean, I've waited longer. I've waited longer
Sorry.
because it just doesn't load.
I don't know. I don't recognize the song.
Yeah, it could be an internet thing for you.
Revolutionary War, the game.
Oh, so close.
It's a portable, right?
No, it's not.
What is it? MC4?
No.
Okay.
Johnny Piccolo and the trumpet and
What's
the
this
drummer
song?
boy.
Super Nintendo.
Oh, really?
Civil War, the game.
All right. So it's Super Nintendo. I don't recognize it. It sounds kind of good, but kind of bad. So I'm gonna guess it's licensed.
Yeah, I guess it's licensed.
Okay.
I mean,
Is it a movie-based game?
well, I think I'm assuming in name, yes, but then I'm looking at the cover art and it doesn't.
No,
look
no,
like
no.
the
Just
movie.
answer this question.
So-
Is there a movie?
With the same title, yes.
And are they based on the same thing?
I guess so.
You guess.
That's what
so.
she's saying. It's the same name, but like
But like the cover art,
it might
does
not be.
Look like
It
the
might
movie.
not. It might not.
I know it
actually
doesn't
be
look like the
tied.
movie, but are they the same topic?
Yes, but also this does exist outside of movies.
Platoon,
No.
Commando.
I vaguely remember or think
Is
I
it
know.
military?
No.
No, it's like fantastic.
Life Force,
No.
It's like whimsical fantasy.
sci-fi.
No. Stake my life on it being fantasy. Like
Lord of the Rings.
No.
Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, something like at least akin to that, but it's not. I think I've played this.
King
I'm
of
trying to
the
figure out
Ring.
What I played.
No.
What movies came out back then in the 90s that were whimsical?
Hook.
Fantasy.
It is.
Yes! Yes!
Ah!
Yes!
Ah!
Great job.
Wow.
Great job.
It is Hook. But the cover art has
You
like
would-
a
you would
jacked
think-
Peter Pan.
You
None
would.
of that matters. We like that's what I'm saying. Like you know,
Oh,
it's
but
it
all
also
matters.
Peter Pan exists outside of the movies. Like so there's like this
So,
But
here,
that- wait,
is
that's-
it a franchise?
that's called
Yes.
Hook?
Is it based on a movie?
it's
Yes.
called Hook. The song is named Mermaid Lagoon.
Hmm.
This one comes from Steve
Oh, oh,
Irwin,
hold on. Okay.
R.I.P.
Hook.
No.
Is it Mario and Luigi or a Paper Mario?
No. But it is in fact an RPG.
Live Alive.
Tales of something. What's this thing?
Switch.
Triangle Strategy.
This is not first party?
I don't believe it is. No.
Jesus, this sounds a lot like that style. Okay, so then it's a ripoff. Does it have bugs?
Nope.
Oh. Is it about bread?
Nope.
This is so that style. It's got to be a game influenced by that, but I can't think of
What
it.
style?
Final Fantasy, anything?
No, but you're close.
Close how?
That I won't disclose.
Dragon Quest.
No.
I don't know what way to guess with you being close.
Secret of something?
Well, does Square make any other?
They make a ton of RPGs, but I don't know if that's what she's getting at.
It is.
Okay.
It's a Square RPG?
So, Project Triangle.
No.
Tactics.
No.
You played it.
Me. I already said Live Alive
RPG?
and
Yeah,
Triangle
you did say Live
Strategy.
Alive?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Octopath.
Nope.
It sounds old school. Go ahead, I don't know.
Any Chrono somethings or
Kingdom Hearts.
Oh, it's technically on the Switch. That's true.
Yeah,
That's
it was
true.
1.5 and 2.5.
Yeah, it's cloud based.
The next song comes from Nico Darunia.
Game Boy?
Yep.
It's good. Has to be a franchise, right?
Yeah.
Game franchise or everything franchise?
Just game.
Just game.
Oh, really? I thought it would have been based on the movie or something.
It is not based on.
That's vaguely familiar, but I don't know if it just sounds like
Whoa.
another game.
Whoa.
yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Kicked it up.
God, don't hurt them. This is amazing.
Wow.
This is amazing.
They're really pouring it on
I
here.
feel like our brains are being rewired.
Man, Nobuo Uematsu was right when he was like,
Right?
make the old style.
Here. I would definitely remember this if I played it as a kid. I don't know it.
Man,
We're giving up.
I don't know it.
We're giving up.
Donkey Kong.
What?
Unreal.
Donkey Kong.
Showdown at the Tower theme. Man, I guess I need to replay that. I don't. That didn't even sound Nintendo style. Holy crap!
That song was amazing.
Wow.
This one comes to us from Storbus Corbin.
Also Game Boy.
Yep.
You guys. I mean, it's MomBrain's pickings, but you guys are raking us over the coals this
I
time.
mean, I don't like purposely.
No, I know. I know
Curate.
you don't. If anything, you probably would have picked the Donkey Kong one and been like, they're surely going to get this. Is this an RPG?
Yes.
Well, let's get Pokemon out of the way.
No.
All right, Final Fantasy.
Yes.
Just one?
Nope.
Legend? Legend 2?
Legend 2.
Wow.
Final Fantasy.
Gotta get back on track.
Legend 2.
It's
This
pretty good
one
too for Game Boy.
comes from Mikey3319.
N64? Or Super Nintendo?
Super Nintendo.
I didn't play many of these. It sounds like what I think a sports game would sound like.
It is a sports game.
Some garbage music. I don't know. Dude, this is going to be you. I don't know sports games. Somebody's baseball. Somebody's football.
baseball.
Nope.
Somebody's racing?
Nope.
What other sports are there? Golf? Somebody's golf?
Basketball.
Nope.
Wrestling.
Yep.
Ooh, wrestling. Going back to
Super
you then,
Nintendo.
RMC.
Jesus, I don't know what they were. WWF Raw.
Nope.
It's WWF.
Yep.
Royal
WrestleMania.
Nope. It is WWF Super WrestleMania.
There we go.
And Mikey says the road to WrestleMania. So
We are on the road to WrestleMania, my friend. You are right.
this one comes from Super Duper Pooper Scooper
Ooh.
on Patreon.
Thank you.
Oh, sorry.
Well, they made a choice with this song. Man, I don't like this. Or, oh, hold on. What system?
Switch.
And changing up the vibe and the time signature. I don't know what to make of this. You know, I went from not liking it to kind of digging it. Is it an RPG?
I don't know.
Is it Persona?
It is.
Yeah.
Persona 4.
All right. Every week. And he gets it right every week. And he's never played him.
They got a style.
Right. This next one comes from No Blades, No Bows.
I've heard this. I know I have. Haven't I?
Now, they said if this was something you experienced, it is burned into your brain. But not everyone experienced it.
So it's a hidden part of some game. I don't even know what system. Super Nintendo?
Yeah.
Then I definitely wouldn't know.
I'm trying to think of games where stuff is hard to unlock and all I got is Final Fantasy, but it does not sound like Final Fantasy. It'd just be a blank guess. I don't know.
This is the X-Band modem for SNES.
Wow. No, I had dreams of trying that out just like I wanted to be part of the Sega channel, but beyond my parents' scope at the time.
Now, the very last song we have this week comes from,
Is this our last song? I thought we had one more.
and I believe this is it,
Okay.
Rick Fillet, also once upon a time known as Genetic Repo Man. You got it.
That's a soundtrack that'll stick with me for better or worse.
What did they say?
I think G-I-A-N-T, because the song is G-I-A-N-T-E-G-G.
Giant egg. The big green egg.
It's a smoker and a grill.
There's been some push. It's a little bit, but there's been a little bit of a push lately to bring back Billy Hatch. A little bit. I've seen it. I've seen it out there.
Excited.
Really,
Well,
I mean, they missed their opportunity when Hatchimals were like at their peak.
5 out of 10, 6 out of 9. Not our best, not our worst. And I guess that's how we're ending the show.
Goodbye, everybody.
I'm afraid I've got some news over here.
Oh, you do?
I'm afraid something has come across my desk. We may not like what I have to say here, people.
Uh-oh.
Ladies and gentlemen, Deux views. It's never news. Rumor of the week with Deux Michaels. So, ladies and gentlemen, you know that my spiders and my flies go out across the land and they get all the finest video game related rumors and they bring them here to my pocket and I pull them out and I tell them.
Red Suze is the best. Every week, Red Suze is like, what?
We spoke earlier today. Oh, actually, I should preface this. Usually they are rumors. Doing something a little different this week. It's actually a true story. So what you're about
What
to
a
hear
treat.
is
What
true.
an honor.
I haven't been here, and I get to
Well,
come back
wow,
to a true
what a
rumor.
time.
Don't get excited yet, people. We spoke earlier about the Video Game Hall of Fame and what games are kind of nominated this time around. There was one game left off the list that actually, I don't know if you knew this, but it not only was it added to the list, but it's also won. So now it is.
Oh, it's over
It's
already.
in the Hall of Fame. Yep.
They're only picking
Fast
this
track.
one this
Only
time?
the one. So they
Wow.
got rid of the other, and it's not a Hall of Fame anymore. They've changed it to Best Video Game Ever.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Just, all right.
But
No
this
better
is
than this.
but this is the weirdest
So
part.
wait, all the ones that were in
It's
the hall
Urban
have
Champion.
been kicked
I
out?
was gonna say that, but I
But
wanted
that's
to,
not what the
I
news
wanted
said.
to fool you. So yeah, and that's not what the news said.
Yeah.
So the game that's actually the best game in the world, honorary Hall of Fame, is Chris Pratt, ladies and gentlemen. Chris Pratt has won. Yet again.
Congratulations,
Yes.
Chris Pratt.
So
you did it.
we're all very excited, folks.
Well, if there's one thing I know for sure, it's that the people love him no matter what. So best game, best actor, best voice actor, he does it all. Chris Pratt is the best game. It's true. Malakalo says he's so cool. Wow. Well, I guess they're gonna knock down the whole building that they had with all the games and just put Chris Pratt in there. So, oh look, he's celebrating in the chat right now.
We're all very excited.
Well, thank you for that very true, first time true rumor. Do we really appreciate it? And that's it. That's what we got today, my friends. We'll do a little after show. I don't know what we're doing, but thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next week. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.
Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.
Be,
Big ups.
be safe out there if you're celebrating the Irish holiday.
All right. That's all in there. There you go.
Is it an Irish holiday? Is that appropriate to
It's
say?
an American holiday.
Nope. It's all in there. Thanks for sticking around, everybody. Anybody got any after show stuff? Anything they want to talk about? We're going to see Dune tonight.
Dune 2.
Dune 2.
Is that what it's called? Dune 2?
No.
Is it just
It's Dune. Isn't it Dune like another word?
Part
Maybe I'm
2.
wrong.
I don't know.
Super Sanchez says we saw Dune 2. Prepare for the 3-hour movie. Yeah, it's like 240 something or other. I was looking up. Dune Part 2 is apparently what it's
It might
called.
not feel that long. I mean, I really enjoyed the first
My
one.
cousin
so-
saw it and said she did not feel like it felt long at all. So hopefully that will be the case. And it won't feel long for us because we'll have that Dunussy popcorn bucket.
Oh, you're getting it?
No, but
They
If,
don't
if
have
it's there,
those
can you get one
everywhere.
for me?
do you really want it? We'll get it
Yeah.
if it's there. Yeah, we'll get it for
I
you.
looked last time we
We
were
have
in the
more
theater.
turtle chips if you'd like some to eat here, not a new bag, but
Are they full of spiders and fly? Oh, is
no,
that-
these
Oh my
are the
gosh.
originals, so no spiders.
Maybe a ladybug or two.
Super Sanchez says the first part felt longer. So there you go. Joe Shabady says Dooney chapter do. I get it.
Dune chapter.
Dooney. I get what he's doing.
Oh,
Dune,
okay, sorry.
Yes. No spoilers. Yes, we don't want any spoilers, and we won't give you any spoilers. But here's a spoiler anyway. Spice, and it must flow. Blue eyes.
Mhm.
Timothy Chalamet.
Not familiar.
Florence Pugh. The guy who thinks he's Elvis still.
That guy.
Whatever his
Austin
name
Butler.
is. Austin Butler. The Batista.
Nice.
The animal Batista.
Very nice. Very nice.
All spoilers. They're all in it.
All good goodies.
Brown color scheme. Second part is fantastic. Hopefully you will love it. I really liked the first one, but I wasn't as crazy about it as everybody was, but I still greatly enjoyed it. And I know the first movie was a lot of setup for this one, so I would imagine I'll end up liking this one better.
Yeah. I'm a big Rebecca Ferguson fan, so looking forward to seeing her in the film.
Anya Taylor-Joy.
She's always terrific.
Sure, she's in it for like 5 seconds or so.
I heard that she's in it for a very short period.
Seems like from what they've been showing of her, she wasn't
About,
much of a.
Javier Bardem,
Oh,
Josh Brolin,
Jay
Batista,
Broles.
Timothy Chalamet. I heard he's in it.
I can see him. It's not a crazy like everybody knows him. I'm just blanking on the name.
John Lovitz.
No,
Oscar Isaac. Khal Drogo.
No, he.
no. Jesus Christ.
Spoilers.
Yeah.
Neither did.
This is so
What's his
embarrassing
name?
that I can't think of his name. Let me just think. Christopher Walken. Got there. I
Oh,
got there.
Seawalks is in it. I forgot.
Christopher Walken. Ice says, I like Dune. Sting was great in it. I will kill him.
Sting.
Yeah, so we're going to see that. What has it been out like 2 weeks now?
I think it's probably going to be a good movie to see in the theater. I'm kind of excited to see it in the theater.
This does seem like the kind of movie you should see in the
My
theater.
friend got tickets for IMAX, and he had to wait 2 weeks. Like that was the soonest he can get tickets. Was 2
Soonest.
weeks out.
Fun fact: the son of the actor that played Earthworm Jim is playing one of the sandworms. Says Freddie.
I
Good to
never
know they're
heard
getting
about
work. Good
I
to
need-
know they're getting work.
Where
It's
did
gotta
you
be
get
tough
that
for them to get work. Yeah, right. They got different spiders and flies.
I need to get a hold of them.
All right.
Poach his spiders and flies.
That's all we got, people. Go rest, relax, play some games, hang out with friends and family. You deserve it. We will see you next week. Nikki Hill, will you be here?
Actually, no, I won't be.
Nikki Hill won't be here, so we'll miss him.
But yeah, be careful out there whether you celebrate the St. Patrick's thing or not, because it's dangerous out there.
Nikki Hill's very worried
careful.
about your safety this
I'm
St.
just-
Patrick's Day,
I'm,
so be
like,
careful.
Yeah, be careful on the roads. Be careful, like just out and
We saw a
about.
lot of cops out yesterday.
People, well, don't be careful about the cops. Be careful about all the other
Yeah.
drivers.
Can I
you know what I'm
work with
saying?
you on anything here? Boy, oh
Are they-
boy.
Are they policing? Yeah, I guess so. Policing the
Yeah,
roads
St.
now.
Patrick's Day
They're
weekend.
policing the
People are
roads
like,
now. We can't even go out on our roads.
St. Patrick's Day, people are like, I'm going to drink all weekend. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what it is. So be
That's
safe
what I'm
out there,
saying, just be
guys,
careful.
because you're going to die. Thanks for watching.
Aaron,
Thanks for
go
listening.
brah.
We'll see you next week. Goodbye, everybody. Go
Go,
bye.
brah.
Oh, go brah. That's what I